Imagine being able to live your life without knee pain. Call today for your pain-free tomorrow. 239-317-7240. That's 239-317-7240.
Slider man, we make your patio door slide like new, Slider man. This is our mission, to put your sliding glass door back in top condition. Slider man, we make your patio door slide like new, Slider man.
Call Slider Man toll free, 866-594-1969.
925foxnews.com.
The company behind Roundup Weed Killer is now paying nearly $11 billion to settle current and possible future lawsuits. Bayer, which bought Monsanto in 2018, made this announcement. Now, the settlement follows years of lawsuits from cancer patients who claim a chemical in weed Roundup Killer and that weed Roundup Killer causes cancer. It will address about 125,000 claims, but it's not an admission of liability or wrongdoing. Bayer will continue to sell the Roundup Weed Killer.
The hunt for a drive-by shooter here in Cape Coral. Next at 6, we're live from the scene.
Plus, we now know what school could look like in the fall. And also ahead at 6 o'clock, what your student's going to have to go through before even stepping foot in the classroom.
And work from home, not working out anymore, what you can actually do to beat the burnout millions of Americans are now facing.
And we are under another heat advisory again today. Taking a look, it is 89, feeling like that as you head out the door in Cape Coral. Meteorologist Matt Devittson next with how hot it's going to feel at the peak of today's heat.
.925 Fox News. Right all along.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana Kia.
Trade in and trade up. Over $500,000 in trade-in assistance up for grabs at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. 2020 Kia Forte LXS lease, 0 down, $159 per month. 2020 Kia Sorento LX lease, 0 down, $259 per month. Plus, at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers, you can drive interest-free up to 72 months and worry-free for 100,000 miles. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you've got $500 down and you make at least $500 per week, our lenders can get you approved. At Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana Kia.
36-month lease is 10,000 miles per year, 0 to exciting plus tax, title, dealer, and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit, $13.88 per month per thousand borrowed for 72 months. 0 APR with 0 down with lender approval.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. Now that our economy has reopened and to help the community, we've decided to offer a safe $29 AC maintenance. All Pure Air employees are supplied with gloves, foot coverings, and KN95 masks for your and their protection. Find us online at getpureair.com to schedule your safe $29 AC maintenance. Join me every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
In the last couple months, we have all been forced to navigate uncharted waters. Now it's time to join together as we discover the incredible opportunities that lie ahead of us.
Todd and I know for certain some things have not changed. Our love stories, relationships, and communities have grown stronger and become more important than ever. Love deserves to be celebrated, and we cannot wait to see your smile and play a small part in your celebration again. With that said, we could not be more excited to announce that the Diamond District is now open for your business.
Because we were required to close our business, we have a much larger inventory than expected, and the Diamond District must liquidate. This liquidation sale includes an incredible selection of GIA and Forevermark loose certified diamonds, engagement rings, and all diamond fashion jewelry.
Rest assured, your health and safety are our top priority. You'll notice a few changes when you arrive.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Cape Coral police are looking for the person who opened fire on a restaurant. It happened Wednesday night at Hurricane Grill and Wings on Pine Island Road. Police say there is no danger to the public at this time. On Friday, NCH will no longer do drive-through coronavirus testing at Baker Hospital. They say that's because more doctors are able to do testing at their own practices. Community members can call their primary care doctor with NCH to schedule a testing appointment. Starting today, if you travel to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, you will have to quarantine. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo announced a 14-day quarantine for people traveling from states with rising cases, and that includes Florida. The Lee County School District Reopening Task Force has drafted a new plan to get your children back to school. When it comes to transportation, they decided to limit distancing between students, but emphasize the use of face masks and other protective measures like hand sanitizer and windows are important. They'll also likely assign seats. This recommendation, along with several others, will be presented to the school board next month. Collier County deputies have arrested 17-year-old Mark Below for starting a house fire that killed a man. The fire happened Tuesday in Golden Gate. Deputies say they have evidence that he bought a canister of gas at a Circle K prior to the fire. He lived at that house. Fort Myers police are looking for the person who fired a gun Tuesday night, happening at Winkler Avenue and the Ford Avenue extension. The victim is already out of the hospital. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Good Thursday morning. Lehigh Acres traffic slowing down eastbound on Lee Boulevard heading towards Gunnery for a half mile. Also delays building on Buckingham Road west towards State Road 82. If you are in Fort Myers, traffic's also getting congested on MLK Boulevard east towards Ortiz. That's you up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020 as we have a heat advisory in effect. Air temperatures in the mid-90s. However, with all the tropical air, it could feel as hot as 107 to 112. We are going to see the development of some hit-or-miss pop-up showers and storms by the late afternoon and evening, which, hey, for some nice heat relief. As we look ahead to your Friday and the weekend, more hotter than average weather, even for our summer standards. Temperatures in the mid-90s, the heat index well over 100 to 105. And then into next week, lower 90s with scattered rain and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour. Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News. News and smart views.
Get the best sleep of your life. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off mattress orders.
Looking for a frameless shower door? My Shower Door has just opened their 8th Florida showroom, and it's conveniently located in Cape Coral. With more than 75,000 frameless shower doors installed, no one has more experience and 5-star reviews than My Shower Door. We've been named number 1 by readers of the News Press and Naples News for 17 consecutive years and have just been named as Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
Tee off and swing into summer at Coral Oaks Golf Course in Cape Coral. Come out and enjoy our excellent playing surfaces, beautiful natural surroundings, GPS golf carts, and low summer rates. Play 18 holes every day for just $35 before noon, $30 afternoon, and $25 after 2 p.m. all summer long. You can book tee times up to 7 days in advance at coraloaksgolf.com. We'll see you at Coral Oaks, where every day is a great day.
Now more than ever, it's essential to have a primary care provider ready to care for you. Book your first appointment through Millennium Physician Group's telehealth service, MPG Connect, and get established with a care team who will be there for you wherever and whenever you need. Primary and specialty care, walk-in centers, lab services, imaging centers, and COVID-19 evaluation and testing. Connect with Millennium Physician Group today and be ready for tomorrow. 844-CALL-MPG. 844-CALL-MPG. MillenniumPhysician.com.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort? Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Visit Accurate Comfort Services online at AccurateComfortServices.com today. License number CMC 057023.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. There is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Hello, good to see you. Streaming live on YouTube at Drew Steele Radio. Please subscribe to the channel. We always do appreciate that. Steele with 3 E's. You just type it in there. And, of course, on your favorite Facebook platform there at 925 Fox News. Hello there. Look at you. Good morning, sir. There is the man of darkness, the man of many hoodies. It is Jake the Millennial, who is there on the other side of the glass, looking good today.
Also 3 E's.
Do you?
Jake the Millennial.
So what, Jake? Well, no, Jake only has 1 E.
No, Jake the Millennial has 3 E's.
Is that right? Jake the Millennial? Okay. It's the problem is spelling millennial, because if you had to...
Most people don't know how.
Yeah.
Do you know how to spell it?
Millennial?
Yeah, go.
239-479-5592. There you are, everybody. All right. So much is happening. The explosive new details that we come to find out yesterday. The good news is that a 2-1 decision made by a lower court to say that an appellate, listen, Judge Sullivan, Mike Flynn case, you need to, the mandamus request basically saying, make a decision. You're either going to keep this thing going or you're not. And the decision that we say is no more Michael Flynn decision here as far as keeping this case going against him. Exculpatory evidence shows there was no reason to even be in this position to begin with. We need to move on. And so it looks like finally all of this is over for Michael Flynn. Which is good news. Hopefully, as soon as Judge Sullivan decides to sign off on it, which he has not done yet, why he's waiting is beyond anybody's belief. But it appears as if that is over, especially considering the explosive new FBI notes that we found out yesterday. That does tell us, does suggest, does show that, when Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe there says,
Sleepy Joe,
when Sleepy Joe said, hey, I didn't know anything about Michael Flynn and any investigation and anything that was going on. That may not be true, everybody. Quite the opposite. As a matter of fact, he did have a lot to say, certainly about Michael Flynn. Maybe behind closed doors, but at least as far as these FBI notes confirm, not only the vice president, who had something to say about it, even after saying he knew nothing about it, but handwritten notes from Peter Strzok, the fired FBI agent, appear to describe a January 5th, 2017 Oval Office meeting between James Comey, Sally Yates, then National Security Advisor Susan Rice, Joe Biden, and President Barack Obama. Oh, boy. Meeting and its substance were confirmed in a bizarre Inauguration Day email Rice wrote to herself. And these notes that were scribbled down by Peter Strzok shows that not only did Joe Biden have something to say about the operation against Michael Flynn, these newly released notes confirm that the president's key role in surveillance and leak operation against Michael Flynn, the incoming Trump administration national security advisor, notes which were first disclosed in a federal court filing made by the Department of Justice on Tuesday, show that President Obama himself personally directed former FBI Director James Comey and former Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates to investigate Flynn for having routine phone calls with a Russian counterpart. Routine, meaning that there was nothing wrong with the calls. There was never anything wrong with the calls. There was never anything wrong with what Michael Flynn was doing, except for the fact that Michael Flynn knew where the dirt was buried, where things were going wrong with the former administration, where there was either a vendetta against him, a hatred of Mike Flynn for some reason, Barack Obama not too pleased with Michael Flynn, and it was that, or it was something deeper, everybody, that maybe Michael Flynn ultimately could tell the President of the United States, things that maybe would be uncomfortable for the former administration. And that's what this was all about. Is that what it is? He also suggests they withheld information from the president and his key national security figures. This is all written up in the Federalist, and it's Sean Davis and Molly Hemingway, who are two amazing individuals working so hard that brought all this to light, bringing the information here that I'm reading. The meeting, which was confirmed by testimony from Comey and Yates, that Obama gave guidance to key officials who would be tasked with protecting his administration's utilization of secretly funded Clinton campaign research, which alleged Trump was involved in a treasonous plot to collude with Russians from being discovered or stopped by the incoming administration. The new notes, which record Comey's accounting to Strzok of the meeting's substance, constitute definitive evidence that Obama himself was personally directing significant aspects of a criminal investigation into his political enemy's top foreign policy advisor. An image of the notes that's been reproduced so people could see and try to get a gauge, because Peter Strzok's handwriting is about as strong as, I was going to say his celibacy, but I don't even know if that's the right way to put it. But anyway, moving on. The rough transcript, you know what I'm saying. A rough transcript talks about how the vice president brought up the Logan Act. The vice president in this meeting that Strzok was taking notes of from James Comey was talking about the president saying that they're unusual times. The vice president saying, I've been on the Intel committee for 10 years and I never. He's bringing up the Logan Act. The president saying, make sure you look at things and have the right people on it. The president saying, is there anything I shouldn't be telling the transition team? And the Flynn and Kislyak calls appear legit. Like, don't tell them that. James Comey. This is all outrageous, but it's great news for Michael Flynn, because obviously Sidney Powell, the amazing job that she has done, the counsel for Michael Flynn has been amazing to go after those that have tried to bring down General Flynn and continue to try to bring down this president and fighting back. Sidney Powell is an amazing individual, a true fighter for justice. Attorney General Barr, who is doing the same thing, trying to restore justice and order in a government that too many times recently you can point to and show that people do not have the trust of government right now, and certainly the government and the administration before this one, to believe that your privacy, your safety and security is safe, that the targeting of the federal government against citizens like Michael Flynn or the President of the United States has to stop. And that's why, everybody, this election moving forward is so important. People can talk about how it's the most important election of our lifetime. They can say things like, this is the one, this is the time when if we don't get this right, then we are going to see this country torn down in ways that we never thought would be imaginable. But it is true that even as we speak, there are people that are trying to change the fabric of this country, change the image of this country, that are trying to tear down the institutions, and understand that the people that are out there doing it will also be the ones that will be in charge if Joe Biden becomes president of the United States. The reason why this election, and I'm going to get to some Sidney Powell audio from Lou Dobbs' show yesterday to explain a little bit more about her concerns and what has taken place, is that, look, Joe Biden is running on a progressive platform right now. The only reason why Joe Biden is even being accepted by people like Black Lives Matter, the Marxists that are Black Lives Matter, not my words, their words, is that he's going to be willing to go along with whatever they want to do. Their Marxist ways, progressives in this country, the people that want to tear down and change everything you know, from statues to our history to books and movies and TV shows, and how many unfounded attacks there will be on you and certain institutions. We just found out, by the way, Jake, I don't know if you heard about this, but Bubba Wallace, remember we were talking about Bubba Wallace yesterday? Remember the whole thing about Bubba Wallace and the concerns about the noose and racism and NASCAR and all of that? Remember that yesterday?
Sure do.
That was so yesterday. That was so 12 hours ago. Did you know that Bubba Wallace came out with a new statement yesterday, basically saying, "I'm glad it's over with, and maybe maybe there were some things that we got wrong." But
so it wasn't an apology?
Yeah, no. I know I digress for a minute. I'll get to it. But the point is that, yeah, Bubba Wallace has kind of changed his tune a little bit. But going after the institution, going after NASCAR, going after the people who support NASCAR is not going to go away, everybody. It's not going to go away. Here is the critical point. This is the takeaway from the news that we get yesterday, that, yes, Barack Obama had a key role in the surveillance and the leak operation against Michael Flynn. He was involved. Joe Biden is vice president of the United States. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's happening.
We choose truth over facts.
That's what I'm saying. Is a flat out lie, and he knows it. And so does the media. Everybody knows it. It was a lie. And now we come to find out that he was there with the president, listening to all of this and chiming in on it. He was the one that brought up using the Logan Act against Michael Flynn, and ultimately to keep this going. Understand that there was nothing there. They knew that everything that was going on with Michael Flynn, the calls were fine. Every single call was fine, that there was no problem with Michael Flynn. And yet they made up, out of whole cloth, they made up a direction to go to against Michael Flynn because they had a problem with Michael Flynn, because Michael Flynn knows where the bodies are buried, so to speak. He knows the dirt of the Obama administration. He knows too much. He couldn't be left alone to be part of the Trump administration. He had to be brought down. This is what they do. And we're going to get again into what Sidney Powell said in just a minute, but the takeaway is that this is not going to stop. This is the harsh reality that we all have to understand. All we have to do is get President Trump into office, have him reelected, and everything's going to be fine. All of this will go. It's never going to go away. The precedent has been set, everybody. The precedent is set. If you can get away with it, you're going to do it. The Democrats don't care about law and order. They've proven time and time again they don't care about law and order. Progressives in this country don't care about law and order. They don't care about the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. They don't. Black Lives Matter has said time and time again. They said it just the other day. They want Trump out of office. Their goal is to get the president out of office. They want him gone, which means by default that they are willing to put their money and their backing behind Joe Biden. Why? Because they feel like he will do their bidding, that if they ask him to do something when he's in office, payback for helping you to get elected, it's going to happen. It's never going to go away. So the point is, you have to make sure it is more important now than ever that you vote, you get out anybody that you know to make sure you get people registered to vote, that you get anybody and everybody and let them know what is going on and keep people who believe in this country and the Constitution and our constitutional republic down ballot, that you have to vote. Why? Because the fight, you got to be up for it, everybody. The fight will continue. It's not going to stop. It's not going away. It's not that if we win the election and the president of the United States is voted back into office once again, another 4 years, it's like, oh, I could breathe again. Everything's going to be fine. It just means we get to fight another day. It just means we get to fight another day, because it's not going to stop. It's not going to go away. They'll find some other way to do this. Democrats will find some other way to abuse their positions in government to go against the Constitution, the constitutional republic that we are. We're not a democracy. We're not a democracy. And so that's why this election is important. All right, coming up, I'm going to play some of the audio from Sidney Powell yesterday on Lou Dobbs' program as she explains what was discovered. The newly released handwritten notes confirming that the president, he had a key role in trying to surveil and bring down Michael Flynn. He had something to say about it. So did the vice president, even though he's trying to make you believe he didn't know anything about the thing.
All men and women created by you know the thing.
You know the thing. We'll get into that in just a minute. Stay right, 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Traffic slowing in Fort Myers on 41 north of Crystal. So if you want to avoid it, go ahead and hop on Summerlin. Also a delay on Brayman west of US 41 heading towards McGregor Boulevard. But taking a look at my traffic cams, we're still up to speed on I-75 heading to and from Lee and Collier. In Collier County, traffic a little congested already on Livingston south towards Immokalee Road. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020, at least so far. Heat advisory is in effect. Temperatures topping out in the mid-90s. Heat index as high as 107 to 112. By the late afternoon and evening, a chance of spotty showers and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Gulf Shore Business Magazine, online at gulfshorebusiness.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The weekly jobless numbers come out in a few hours. Economists expect a small dip in the number of new unemployment filers compared to last week. More COVID concerns rattling Wall Street Wednesday. The Dow down 710 points, the S&P off by 81, the Nasdaq off by 222. The average amount of student debt that U.S. adults carry is now just over $24,000. So says a new survey from Northwestern Mutual. And as movie theaters plan to get back to business this summer, Fandango has a new online way of trying to help you.
Fandango has a guide for potential moviegoers on which theaters are opening and COVID-19 safety policies in place. The social distance seating maps can help pick tickets ahead of time. People can even see if popcorn is there.
Fox's Ashley Dvorkin. And that's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jill Nato, invested in you.
Your employees and customers have new expectations when it comes to cleanliness. Cintas has the products and services you need to feel prepared. A trained Cintas technician can apply disinfectant and sanitizer spray to common surfaces. And we'll keep you well stocked with gloves, face masks, hand sanitizer, and disinfectant wipes, professional cleaning supplies, and PPE. Just a few ways Cintas can help you keep your business safe. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hey, this is Papa with Casey, Carrie, and Cody. And as most of you know, when Irma hit in September of 2017, thousands of people tried unsuccessfully to call a roofing company. But all the roofers were so overwhelmed they could not handle or even answer those calls. Now here we are, almost 3 years later, and many of those same people are still waiting to have their roofs repaired. So we are implementing our proactive list. If you want to be on our list, call me for our free title of inspection. Once we inspect your roof, you will be on the proactive list. If or when the next storm hits, you will have no need to call any roofer because we will be calling you automatically to see if you need help. We can offer emergency repairs and tarp service or whatever your roof requires. Call Papa now for our free tile-roof inspection, 945-2700. We believe it's wise to be proactive and it costs you nothing to join our list. Call Papa for our free tile-roof inspection at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. License number CCC 133-1790.
So who is this Heather Fitzenhagen?
Oh, she's Planned Parenthood's favorite politician.
What?
Yep, Heather Fitzenhagen supports young girls getting an abortion without their parents knowing, and she voted for late-term abortions.
You're kidding me.
Nope. And it gets worse. She also supports the killing of unborn babies based on their gender.
That's horrible. No wonder Planned Parenthood loves her.
She also fought against President Trump on immigration.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And she voted to give driver's licenses to illegal immigrants and to give them in-state tuition at our universities.
I did hear that. Didn't she also refuse to vote on banning sanctuary cities?
She sure did. Heather Fitzenhagen turned her back on President Trump and refused to vote to ban sanctuary cities in Florida.
And now she's running for the Florida Senate?
Yeah. Planned Parenthood's favorite politician, Heather Fitzenhagen, wants to be our senator.
We certainly don't need a Democrat representing us in the Senate.
Well, she claims to be a Republican, but whatever she thinks she is, we don't need Heather Fitzenhagen in Florida's Senate.
Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican for Florida Senate.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Honey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home.
And due to these difficult times, we have extended our no diagnostic fees, no trip charges, no strings. Visit FloridaCoolToday.com to schedule. Carrier turn to the experts.
Attention commercial building owners. The Flying Locksmiths of Southwest Florida are now open, specializing in automatic doors, access controls, and CCTV cameras. Visit them online at flyinglocksmiths.com. If it's on the door, we handle it.
The corona pandemic and crushing stock market have many Americans worried. Is a recession on the way? Don't let fear take over your emotion. Join me, Alfie Townsend, for Saving the Investor radio show this Saturday at 9 a.m., Planning for Retirement in a Turbulent World.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Sitting at home with back or neck pain, lying in a recliner suffering with leg pain or weakness, out of shape from sciatica, stenosis, or neuropathy? Get relief and get your life back. Non-surgical spinal decompression. This is Dr. Johnson, D.C. at 596 Back. Spinal decompression is an ingenious, innovative treatment that has shattered doctors' traditional ways of treating back or neck problems. Doctors have been left scratching their heads. Finally, avoid needles, epidurals, and drugs. This treatment is also super comfortable. Patients of any age can be treated and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. It uses a relaxing, computerized table to gently remove pressure on spinal nerves and discs, relieving pain, numbness, or weakness. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
Tonight on Wink News at 6.
To think that's forever. Heard his voice to say, I love you, Mom.
This Southwest Florida mom's son was shot dead just minutes from home in a road rage argument gone wrong. Police know he pulled the trigger, but the shooter isn't charged, and his name kept confidential.
I don't understand how you can kill someone unarmed and you are the one with protection.
How is a Florida law meant to protect victims actually protecting a killer? Tonight on Wink News at 6.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. Now that our economy has reopened and to help the community, we've decided to offer a safe $29 AC maintenance. All Pure Air employees are supplied with gloves, foot coverings, and KN95 masks for your and their protection. Find us online at getpureair.com to schedule your safe $29 AC maintenance. Join me every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
Lower taxes, debt reduction, increased reserves. That's what Kevin Ruane did as mayor of Sanibel. Now Kevin Ruane is running for District 1 on the Lee County Commission. An accountant and businessman, Kevin Ruane knows what it takes to balance a budget and has the record to prove it. Kevin cut Sanibel's taxes by 26% and reduced debt by 80%, all while increasing the city's reserve funds. Now, more than ever, Lee County needs a strong conservative that knows how to run a business and isn't afraid to make the tough decisions to get our economy back on track. We need Kevin Ruane on the County Commission, guiding the way to job creation and financial stability as our economy recovers from the coronavirus crisis. Kevin will bring his 40 years of business experience and his proven record of results to the County Commission to lead the charge in the tough times that lie ahead. Let's put Kevin Ruane to work for us. Vote for Kevin Ruane for Lee County Commissioner. Paid by Kevin Ruane, Republican, for Lee County Commissioner, District 1.
I've always wanted to learn another language, but every time I try, it never sticks. So I decided to give Babbel a try, and I really like the teaching method of the app. I started with the beginner lesson on Babbel, and it starts with simple words and phrases, and soon you're putting those words into a conversation. Each lesson takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're all really different, which keeps things interesting. The app is really smart. It actually keeps track of the words I'm struggling with so I can practice them and get better. I chose Babbel because it was created by real language teachers. They built it around real life, how people actually communicate, and what they care about. I can't wait to use my new language skills in the real world. Dos cervezas, por favor.
With Babbel, get conversational in Spanish, French, German, and more. It just takes 10 to 15 minutes a day. Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Cape Coral police are looking for the person who opened fire on a restaurant. It happened Wednesday night at Hurricane Grill and Wings on Pine Island Road. Police say there is no danger to the public at this time. On Friday, NCH will no longer do drive-through coronavirus testing at Baker Hospital. They say that's because more doctors are able to do testing at their own practices. Community members can call their primary care doctor with NCH to schedule a testing appointment. Starting today, if you travel to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, you will have to quarantine. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo announced a 14-day quarantine for people traveling from states with rising cases, and that includes Florida. The Lee County School District Reopening Task Force has drafted a new plan to get your children back to school. When it comes to transportation, they decided to limit distancing between students, but emphasize the use of face masks and other protective measures like hand sanitizer and windows are important. They'll also likely assign seats. This recommendation, along with several others, will be presented to the school board next month. Collier County deputies have arrested 17-year-old Mark Boulot for starting a house fire that killed a man. The fire happened Tuesday in Golden Gate. Deputies say they have evidence that he bought a canister of gas at a Circle K prior to the fire. He lived at that house. Fort Myers police are looking for the person who fired a gun Tuesday night, happening at Winkler Avenue and the Ford Avenue extension. The victim is already out of the hospital. I'm Corey Lazar. Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic slowing in Fort Myers on 41 north of Crystal. So if you want to avoid it, go ahead and hop on Summerlin. Also a delay on Brayman west of US 41 heading towards McGregor Boulevard. But taking a look at my traffic cams, we're still up to speed on I-75 heading to and from Lee and Collier. In Collier County, traffic a little congested already on Livingston south towards Immokalee Road. That's you up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020 as we have a heat advisory in effect. Air temperatures in the mid-90s. However, with all the tropical air, it could feel as hot as 107 to 112. We are going to see the development of some hit or miss pop-up showers and storms by the late afternoon and evening, which, hey, for some nice heat relief. As we look ahead to your Friday and the weekend, more hotter than average weather, even for our summer standards. Temperatures in the mid-90s, the heat index well over 100 to 105. And then into next week, lower 90s with scattered rain and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Plug into the power. 92.5 Fox News. Thrust all along.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and yes, it is time for you to do something about your style. Well, I mean, from your style, window treatments and decor. Now, don't get me wrong, you've got a great style, but maybe you need to fix up some things in your home, maybe like I did, the treatments on your windows, blinds, shutters, shades. Well, you've got to go to Your Style Window Treatments and Decor, a veteran family-owned and operated business with multiple brands of blinds, shades, and shutters, and they have this great fabric that they use. It's called Microban, and it's one kind of treatment that you might want to think about because of its antimicrobial protection, and it inhibits the growth of bacteria, mold, and mildew that can cause stains, odors, and degrade the fabric. Yeah, you can get that at Your Style Window Treatments and Decor, and they can provide all of this with certified trained sales, installation, right through till completion. So give Your Style Window Treatments and Decor a call, will you? 471-5006. You're going to love them. 239-471-5006 for Your Style Window Treatments and Decor. Or visit them online at yourstylewindowtreatments.com.
Great news, Southwest Florida. Below invoice employee pricing is back at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Lowest prices ever on over 1,500 new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Loaded, luxurious Grand Cherokee Limited lease, $289 per month. That's right, Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, $289 per month. 7-passenger Dodge Journey SUV, just $19,990. Plus at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, you can drive payment-free for 3 months or interest-free for 6 years and worry-free up to 100,000 miles. And our parts service and body shop are open to serve you. Below invoice employee pricing at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com. Gotta go to Galliana. 42 month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $19.99 due at signing plus tax, tag title, dealer and acquisition fee, 0 security deposit, $13.88 per month per thousand borrowed for 72 months at 0 APR with 0 down with lender approval offers no combined.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Svetlana Kogan, a board-certified internal medicine concierge physician on 5th Avenue South. Almost 2 decades of clinical experience in New York taught me a lot about doctoring. My philosophy is that less medication is better. I prescribe healthy lifestyle, good food, and exercise to heal and prevent most of the health concerns. I teach my patients how to use herbs, vitamins, and supplements properly, and spend a great deal of time with each of my patients, empowering them with mind-body balancing steps to prevent illness and avoid hospitalization. If you're looking for an experienced doctor who is knowledgeable in holistic approach to health, check out my website, customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com to learn how becoming a part of my patient family can make you healthy and joyful again.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate it. It does help, and it's Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, kind of like Jake the Millennial, that Jake the Millennial has 3 E's. That is correct, and you're proud to say. How many hoodies do you have, by the way, as far as sweaters, shirts, things?
A lot.
A lot, huh? Good.
Yeah, this one's actually got a hole in it. If anyone knows how to sew, please help me.
Okay, if anybody knows how to sew, please reach out to Jake, 239-479-5592. Or we could just buy another one. We could just pick another one up.
See, but when it's sentimental, it's kind of hard to find another one.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, tell me more about this. So tell me more. What is it? Tell me more about your sentimental sweater. Go ahead.
Well, it was just bought by somebody that I cherish, and I'd like to wear it.
And that's it. Okay. All right, good to know. Or not. So here's something that's good to know. We talked about this. We're going to have a discussion. Kevin Derby from FloridaDaily.com is going to join us at 7:35. We'll talk about state news. We'll get to some of the polls here and the concerns across the state about what is happening in this election, what the numbers are saying. If you trust the polls, we'll talk about that. And also CD19. I would love to get his perspective about what he thinks is happening in this congressional race here in our area, outside of the area. What is the view? What are people saying about our race from where he is in Tallahassee, and some of the decisions that the governor made yesterday? Some signatures, signing of bills. There were some signing of some bills yesterday. And here's one for you, Jake. We've talked about this before. Have you heard the story, for example, of the getting on an airplane and the person that gets on the plane, and what do they usually bring on the plane that is getting kind of annoying and getting to the point where it's a little too much when you get on a plane, or when you go into a grocery store, or when you go into one of the big box stores, or when you're going into all of these places. Typically, you see people that are bringing in pets, right? Some kind of pet. Sometimes on planes, it's like an ostrich.
Or a donkey.
Or it's a donkey, or, a horse, or something like, or a goat onto the plane, because they're what? What are they, Jake?
Emotional support?
They're emotional support goats, or ostriches, or dogs, cats, pigeons. I don't know. There's all kinds of emotional. You never know what kind of animal will bring you an emotional support these days. Now, we've said before, right, Jake, that there are circumstances where most certainly it is helping. Emotional support animals. It's a big help for some folks out there, right? No doubt. Right? We've said that. The governor signed a bill that's going to prohibit falsification or other fraudulent misrepresentation regarding the use of an emotional support animal. Anybody else applauding that, or is it just me, Jake? I'm on an island. It's just me. He's saying, look, you can't do it. You can't just say, hey, Fluffy's my emotional support animal. And, oh, by the way, I got the little vest. It's cool. It's on Etsy. There's a girl in Provo that makes them. She makes them all in like little camo and stuff. And it says emotional support. And so I bought it from her and I put it on, and nobody ever questions me. So I can bring my ostrich anywhere I want. How many times have you seen that happen? A few?
I've never personally seen it, but we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, we have. Does it annoy you as much as it annoys me? Like, we can't have nice things. We can't give people the support that they need because there's always someone that comes along and abuses the privilege. Does that make sense? No.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Okay, good. All right. So the governor was initially filed in December of 2019, unanimously passed by the Senate back in March of 2020. And there was one Democrat who said he often hears complaints from condominium residents about people falsely claiming their pet is an emotional support animal, saying people are, quote, getting phony baloney psychological papers saying they're allowed to have animals in their communities. Again, I bring this up because there are things that we have that are out there that are needed in the community, like support animals, that all of a sudden you have people that say, I would love to bring that ostrich with me on vacation to Cape May in New Jersey. That would be great. Of course, now I got to be quarantined because I'm flying into New York. That's a whole other story. Because, Florida's the problem. And and we're going to talk about the increase in cases. We're actually going to have the Deputy Health and Human Services Director, Eric Hagan, join us from the Trump administration at 7:00, because we're going to talk a little bit about what's being done, the latest with COVID, and maybe even his thoughts on what is happening with this uptick in cases. So we'll get to that. But yeah, that idea about, not having these quote unquote phony baloney use of support animals. And it's happening. Hey, wait a minute. Carlin Bushwood. Bushwood, who is concerned about emotional support. Why are you concerned about emotional support these days, Carl?
Well, morning, Drew. There, salutations and all that. But I have a remote control. Excuse me, emotional support gopher there. He keeps me calm when I got to keep my cannonball hand, nice and steady.
Yeah,
cannonball coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do, Carl. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, my goodness, everybody's in an uproar nowadays. We're all trying to stay calm, and keep the faith. But now they're going after Augusta. Now my feathers in a ruffle.
Wait a minute. Wait, I didn't hear about this. They're going after Augusta?
Goodness.
Who's going after Augusta?
Well, everybody now. Everybody's got their head up there, hoo-hoo-hoo-nee. But, they're trying to change the name of the Masters, and then, they want to take the green jacket away and make it into clear plastic.
Clear plastic. Wait, is this true that they have a problem with the name Masters?
Yes, my dear friend. Unfortunately, us gophers down here, we're in an uproar. we're not like ants. I'm a gopher king, and ants just kind of dig everywhere. What gophers, we're civil engineers, and we need that support. So hopefully the governor doesn't come after us gophers.
All right. Well, good. All right. Thank you, Carl. Carl from Bush.
Keep it in the short grass.
I try to do that. There goes Carl from Bushwood. All right. I forgot to ask Carl, by the way, with all the heat that we have, how in the world do you play golf when it's like a 110 heat index? That's tough. But there you go. The Masters now looks like is the next to be called out because that's how things go now. You find, for example, NASCAR. You got a problem with NASCAR. You think NASCAR is racist, Confederate flags, the South, Trump supporters. You know how that works. NASCAR doing anything and everything that they can to appease, even coming out quickly to denounce the news there that was found in Bubba Wallace's garage until now we come to find out that the FBI has to send 15 individuals, agents, the FBI, to find out that it was just a pull handle. Oh, and for those that don't know, yesterday, I know we're getting a little off track, but Bubba Wallace, even yesterday, up until late yesterday morning, was being asked about this, right? The whole issue of this noose being in the garage and the story kind of twisting and tilting and moving and doing all of these things. And it was the Today Show yesterday where they asked him again about it. And
you're still fairly convinced that what was in that garage stall wasn't a rope pull, but it was a noose and it was designed to intimidate or make a statement. Is that what you still believe?
So he still believes it? You're still sure about this? This was like later in the morning now. He's gone through about 800 different interviews in the past 48 hours telling everybody how it was and it is and he's concerned and racism. And then he says...
It was a rope pull for the garage door. It was attached. The image you see of where it was cut, that's exactly what it was. But it was definitely in the shape of a noose. Wasn't a functioning noose. I talked to the FBI. The two conversations I had with the FBI, which I never thought I'd talk to the FBI in my lifetime. So, hey, there's always something.
Okay. Well, of course it wasn't a functioning noose. A door handle pull. It's as big as, smaller than your hand. Okay, anyway. So just in case you were wondering, here you go, Jake. I mentioned this earlier. Bubba Wallace from yesterday. It's been an emotional few days. First off, I want to say how relieved I am that the investigation revealed that this wasn't what we feared it was. I want to thank my team, NASCAR, and the FBI for acting swiftly and treating this as a real threat. I think we'll gladly take a little embarrassment over what the alternatives could have been. Make no mistake, though, some will try. This should not detract from the show of unity we've had on Monday and the progress we've made as a sport to be a more welcoming environment for all. So, Bubba Wallace, after all of this, I guess, must have talked to somebody, and he's like, dude, come on. Come on. And there you go. We'll gladly take a little embarrassment. A little embarrassment? You perpetuated the start of trying to destroy a sport. That's a little embarrassment? But it goes back to something that we talked about before and what the stakes are right now. You know, the issue of Bubba Wallace and NASCAR may seem like a small thing, a small potatoes, if you will, but it's not. It's part of a larger topic and subject that is important, which is that this fight is never going to stop. The fight against everything to dismantle, the fight against institutions to tear down, the fight against statues in parks that have to be taken down by any means, and that the mob will rule, and that a few individuals with big megaphones will have the opportunity to talk a big game and scare politicians and individuals and local representatives and council members into doing things and allowing things to happen that they never in a million years would, because they believe in law and order. How crazy has it become? You ready for this? Get ready, Jake. This is one of the left's favorite websites, Mashable. I don't know if you've heard of Mashable. Jake, you've heard of Mashable, right? Isn't that a very millennial website, Mashable? No? You haven't heard of Mashable?
Dude, I've never heard that in my life.
All right. Let's just put it this way. It's a bunch of libs getting together and progressives and, kids, college kids. The things they learn in college, and the journalists. I know I can't even say that it was a straight face. The kids that have something to say. Are you ready for what they have to say? Here's Mashable. Mashable is a website that promotes all things that are good, progressively speaking. And they just are trying to give their opinion on what they think about the tearing down of statues. You ready for this, Jake? You tell me if this is an outrage or not. You ready? So this is a journalist for Mashable, and she says,
right now, we're living through a societal revolution against racism in almost every form.
Okay, in almost every form, we're fighting against racism, right? In every form, we're fighting against it.
Part of that reckoning also involves acknowledging that a lot of our historical figures, regardless of their legacy, were pretty damn racist.
Okay, and it goes through pictures of Alexander Hamilton, these statues of Alexander Hamilton, and it goes Francis Scott Key. Everybody, Jake, it doesn't matter, me, everybody, just goes right down the line.
That's why, in addition to joining protests, a lot of people are also calling for the removal of statues of slave owners and other racist figures.
Okay, so they're calling for the removal of these racist figures, right? They were slaveholders, so we got to remove their legacy.
Some cities have already started taking down these racist monuments, like in Camden, New Jersey, where, after public demand, the city voted to take down a statue of Christopher Columbus. In Albany, the mayor ordered the removal of a statue of a known slave owner.
Okay, you following this? Columbus, they're tearing down the statue. They're taking down a statue there in Albany, right? You following all of this? Now here's where it goes off the rails.
But in other places where lawmakers aren't budging on this issue, people are just taking matters into their own hands. Obviously, we're not telling you to commit any crimes, and we also can't tell you to deface any property. But we thought it'd be interesting to look at a purely hypothetical way to safely remove a statue.
We thought we would look at a purely hypothetical way to remove a statue. Mashable decided to put out their own little, listen, we're not telling you that you should tear down a statue. We're not saying that you should deface one. We're not saying that you should spray graffiti on the side, or we're not saying you should do that. But let's just say there was an imaginary place where people did this kind of thing. Wouldn't it be nice to know ways that you can remove a statue? And then they proceed to go into the ways to remove a statue. Am I on an island? Is that not the most outrageous thing you've ever heard? Jake's sitting there and pondering. Any thought on that, Jake? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wow.
This is why I'm saying that the fight won't stop, because nobody in the media will look at that and say, we know what you're doing and you need to stop this. Nobody will call them out. Nobody will dox them. Nobody will stop them. Nobody will report them. Nobody will say anything about a website who is saying, listen, we know that there are people who want the statues removed and we see them happening all over the place. And we're not suggesting that you tear them down or anything like that. But let's just make believe and pretend that hypothetically we lived in a place where you could do that kind of thing. Wouldn't it be nice to know how to do it? Well, here's how. That's an outrage. And the fight is going to continue even after President Trump is reelected. But we need to have somebody in the White House, and we need to have people that we know, elected officials, remember, down ballot, it's not just the president, that will continue to fight afterwards and not acquiesce to this kind of thinking, to this way of posting onto social media. This is not acceptable. And the fight needs to continue. Can't even believe that. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News Traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
A few areas of congestion in Collier County. Livingston Road is slowing heading north of Radio Road. Also, same deal on Airport Pulling heading towards Golden Gate Parkway. My commuters hopping onto Immokalee Road. We're still looking great. Getting off of I-75 towards 41 should only take you about 6 minutes. However, a westbound slowdown beginning on Immokalee west of 41. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020, at least so far. Heat advisory is in effect. Temperatures topping out in the mid-90s. Heat index as high as 107 to 112. By the late afternoon and evening, a chance of spotty showers and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Rush Limbaugh. In Los Angeles, an off-duty LAPD cop paid for his Starbucks Frappuccino with his credit union debit card. That alerted the staff to his profession. When he was halfway through his drink, the officer reportedly reached in and pulled out a soggy tampon. An investigation's underway. Anybody found responsible for putting the feminine hygiene product in his Frappuccino will be charged with felony food tampering. Meanwhile, in Washington, a group of protesters were caught on video verbally abusing police officers. One demonstrator, happened to be white, repeatedly called a black officer a piece of excrement. He screamed that the black cop was part of the effing problem, called him the N-word. When he warned he was too close to the officer, the protesters said it was his First Amendment right to get in the cop's face and to verbally abuse him. Meanwhile, Black Lives Matter activist Shaun King is calling for statues of Jesus Christ to be taken down because he says they are a form of white supremacy. He's also demanding that stained glass windows depicting white Jesus and his European mother and their white friends be removed because they are tools of oppression and racist propaganda. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you are in America. This is what leftists are doing to your country. This is what people are letting happen. A bunch of insane lunatics. Folks, it is once again my privilege to join Mahindra in honoring those who have so bravely served our country. It's time for the 7th annual Mahindra Military Salute Giveaway. To celebrate our Independence Day, the 4th of July, we will randomly select one deserving service member to receive a new Mahindra 4540 four-wheel drive tractor. It's a real deal, tough as nails, compact utility tractor with an impressive loader and 3-point lift capacities. So help us find a brave American to receive this rugged Mahindra. To nominate somebody who is active duty or a veteran of the military and to get official rules, visit rushlimbaugh.com and look for the Mahindra Military Salute Giveaway. Thanks to Mahindra, the official tractor of tough. And God bless all of you who protect our freedom.
Are you a successful small business owner? Perhaps with experience in automotive, ag, or outdoor equipment? Visit joinmahindra.com to become a part of the Mahindra dealer family. That's joinmahindra.com.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
I'm Mike Lombardo. I'm running to represent you in Florida's House of Representatives. I grew up right here in Cape Coral. It's where I went to school, learned to play football, and it's the place I called home while fighting in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Now, it's where I'm raising my family and operating my businesses. President Trump and our freedoms are under attack. And we need strong conservatives in Tallahassee. I fought for you on the battlefield. Now I'm ready to fight for you in Florida's capital. My faith in God and belief in individual liberties have always been a guiding force in my life. Whether on the battlefields of Iraq or fighting for our conservative values at home, I'm passionate about protecting our way of life. My name is Mike Lombardo. I'm a husband, father, combat veteran, and business owner. I'm running for the Florida House to fight for our Constitution, to defend our borders, and to stand with President Donald Trump to rebuild the greatest economy in the history of our nation. I'm Mike Lombardo, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Mike Lombardo, Republican, for the Florida House.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place, but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort? Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Visit Accurate Comfort Services online at AccurateComfortServices.com today. License number CMC 057023.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. I have my friend TJ Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And the selection, of course, at Floor Meisters is amazing. The Core-Tech that I have now in my home. TJ, I got to tell you, it is unbelievable. My wife over the moon. It's like, it's perfect. Even down to the installation. Everything was amazing, TJ.
Well, I'm glad your wife is very happy with it.
So am I.
It's softer, it's quieter, it's beautiful, real look of wood, everything your wife wanted, and you got it all taken care of for her.
And so talk about the selection that you have.
Right now we have 90 colors of Core-Tech in stock, ready to go, pick up, put down as soon as you want it. Everything starting at $299 on up with lifetime warranty.
You have to love Core-Tech. You've got to love TJ and Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters. If you haven't been there, go there today. 6281 Naples Boulevard next to Costco. Now, whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, or hardwood flooring, they have it all. So give them a call, 239-596-4964, or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Mamma Mia, Airport Kia. Mamma Mia, Airport Kia.
Come in today where Kia is committed to accelerating the good on a 2020 Kia Sportage from only $23,900 with no payments for 120 days and 0% interest for 75 months.
Through Kia Motors Finance with approved credit. Not all buyers will qualify. $1,389 per month for $1,000 financed at 72 months. See dealer for details plus tax and dealer fee. Offer expires 6/30/20.
Check us out online anytime at airportkianaples.com.
Airport Kia. Our price sells cars.
People often ask me, how did you grow my shower door so big and so fast? But the answer is, we didn't. What we did is we took our family business, we hired great talent, trained our staff, and developed our product. Now, after 17 years, my shower door has 8 frameless shower door showrooms, with our newest in Cape Coral. If you're looking for a frameless shower door company that you can trust and research, and you want to see more, go to myshowerdor.com.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Cape Coral police are looking for the person who opened fire on a restaurant. It happened Wednesday night at Hurricane Grill and Wings on Pine Island Road. Police say there is no danger to the public at this time. On Friday, NCH will no longer do drive-through coronavirus testing at Baker Hospital. They say that's because more doctors are able to do testing at their own practices. Community members can call their primary care doctor with NCH to schedule a testing appointment. Starting today, if you travel to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, you will have to quarantine. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo announced a 14-day quarantine for people traveling from states with rising cases, and that includes Florida. The Lee County School District Reopening Task Force has drafted a new plan to get your children back to school. When it comes to transportation, they decided to limit distancing between students, but emphasize the use of face masks and other protective measures like hand sanitizer and windows are important. They'll also likely assign seats. This recommendation, along with several others, will be presented to the school board next month. Collier County deputies have arrested 17-year-old Mark Below for starting a house fire that killed a man. The fire happened Tuesday in Golden Gate. Deputies say they have evidence that he bought a canister of gas at a Circle K prior to the fire. He lived at that house. Fort Myers police are looking for the person who fired a gun Tuesday night, happening at Winkler Avenue and the Ford Avenue extension. The victim is already out of the hospital. I'm Corey Lazar. Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
A few areas of congestion in Collier County. Livingston Road is slowing heading north of Radio Road. Also, same deal on Airport Pulling heading towards Golden Gate Parkway. My commuters hopping onto Immokalee Road. We're still looking great getting off of I-75 towards 41 should only take you about 6 minutes. However, a westbound slowdown beginning on Immokalee west of 41. That trip to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020 as we have a heat advisory in effect. Air temperatures in the mid-90s. However, with all the tropical air, it could feel as hot as 107 to 112. We are going to see the development of some hit or miss pop-up showers and storms by the late afternoon and evening, which, hey, for some nice heat relief. As we look ahead to your Friday and the weekend, more hotter than average weather, even for our summer standards. Temperatures in the mid-90s, the heat index well over 100 to 105. And then into next week, lower 90s with scattered rain and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed. Mornings with Drew Steele. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
See a 2017 Chevy Traverse with only 15,000 miles, a 2019 Cadillac XT5 with 19,000 miles, and a 2009 Dodge Caliber with only 4,000 miles. Over 300 vehicles. Visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Honey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home. And due to these difficult times, we have extended our no diagnostic fees, no trip charges, no strings. Visit FloridaCoolToday.com to schedule. Carrier turn to the experts.
If you're far from water, you might think a flood can't happen to you. But the truth is, there are hidden risks that can leave your property vulnerable, like runoff from new development, changing weather patterns, and even wildfires. But if you have flood insurance, you have peace of mind, knowing that you can recover faster. Protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov/storm to learn more. Brought to you by FEMA and its National Flood Insurance Program.
I'm Dr. William Finkelstahler. I'm running for Congress because America is at its greatest crossroads yet. The Democrat Party has transformed into a criminal enterprise that is destroying our country from within, trampling the Constitution, defunding our first responders, and wreaking havoc on our churches and businesses. I'm Dr. William Finkelstahler, and I approve this message because now is not the time to be sending weak leaders to Washington. In Congress, I will fight the radical left with everything I've got. You can count on it.
Paid for by William Finkelstahler for Congress.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the phone number and the text line. Streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch. We always do appreciate that. At Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. And please subscribe to the channel. It does help, and we appreciate the support. And this morning, we appreciate time spent right now with Eric Hargan, who is the President's Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services for the Trump administration. He's joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele. How are you this morning, sir?
Great. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Boy, so many questions that people have, with regard to what we have been hearing lately, here, obviously, in the state of Florida. The big talk is about the uptick in cases, and people have been concerned about COVID. But I do know that one of the things that you have been doing is getting together and having these listening sessions with hospitals and providers around the country. Can you give us an idea of what is happening on a national level, what you're hearing, and some of the steps that are being taken by HHS?
Well, when I'm going through the country, having these listening sessions with providers and people about what's going on around the coronavirus and the associated shutdown, one of the messages that we're trying to get out there is that the lockdowns don't just have they have an economic cost, and that's true. But from a healthcare point of view, we need to understand that there's a healthcare cost that's imposed on people through these as well. People need to take care of themselves. We need to remember that that staying shut down longer than needed doesn't just have an economic cost; it has a healthcare cost as well.
Yeah. And certainly, the concerns that I have, and I'm sure you've probably heard this from providers as well, is how many people, when we have these lockdowns, these shutdowns, are not going and doing the very important things that they need to do for their own health. They're not going to their providers. They're not getting checkups. They're not getting screenings. That has a cost as well.
Yes. And I mean, we are seeing, unfortunately, we're seeing this really large decrease in the number of critical procedures that people need to do: heart procedures, cancer screenings, declines in stroke admissions, millions fewer vaccines administered since the shutdown. I mean, we looked at Tampa, for example, in April. Cardiac procedures fell by 50%. Colonoscopies, mammograms declined by over 90%. Primary care visits fell by 50%. I mean, you're seeing people that are foregoing what is really necessary care for themselves, and that's not something we want to happen.
Yeah, no doubt. And I know that we are all concerned about that. I personally am concerned about that. And that's a very important message to keep up with all of these things that in the past were routine and important for your personal health, but to keep up with those issues and to not let them go unchecked. And so certainly I know that providers have talked to you about that. Talk a little bit about what Secretary Azar is mentioning, the health versus health, this message that has been out there and how that has played out nationally.
Exactly. So, we have had this kind of idea in the country that there's this dichotomy. It's health versus the economy.
Yeah.
And people think that it's just a matter of health versus dollars that people are earning, but it's not. It's what I was talking about. It's health versus health.
Right.
That is that people need to understand that they cannot stop doing the things that redound to their health care.
Yeah.
Most Americans, don't die of infectious disease, even in this pandemic. They have to pay attention to things like that heart disease, cancer, diabetes, COPD, all the things that are the things that are the background of American health. And there's a mental health cost as well that's imposed here.
Yep.
People have we are seeing a rise as these issues prolong. We're seeing a rise in mental health issues, behavioral health issues, and we have to pay attention to that because that is the day-to-day healthcare problems that we have to pay attention to in this country.
Yeah, Eric Hargan is the Trump administration's Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Have people talked to you specifically, the providers, about the uptick and the reopening of the country and how we're starting to hear the cases here in this state and others. But the difference between the caseloads and the cases that we're starting to hear, the testing that has been increasing, more tests, and certainly we're going to hear more about these cases. But in comparison to what we are seeing in the hospitals, ICU beds, the amount of hospitalization and the amount of beds being used, and also to make sure that in order to keep costs down, we can't just start putting more hospital beds in hospitals if they're not needed, if they're not at capacity. Have people been talking to you about that? Because there is a cost matter here that we're talking about as well in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've instituted really the largest, the best testing program in the world. We've got 30 million plus tests that have been done in the United States. And that's from a standing start in January when this disease had just started in the United States. So part of this is that the more tests, the more cases that you find. That's one part of it. The second part is that, we know that the nature of the virus, nature of any virus, is that it spreads. That the more that people are out there, and they need to be out there in many ways, the more cases we're going to see. You may remember, this is months ago, but in some cases it seems like years ago, the phrase we used was flatten the curve.
Right.
What we wanted to do was to slow the spread of the disease so that we allow the healthcare system in our country to prepare itself,
Right.
to get supplies, to plan, to get the workforce ready, so that when there was a surge of cases, and we knew there would be, that our healthcare system was ready for it. There's no way short of a vaccine, which we're working hard towards, for us to stop the virus. Absolutely. So we know that what we need to do is to make sure that when it moves and when it transmits itself, that we're ready for it from a healthcare point of view.
Right.
And in that, we have done that. We have prepared the healthcare system so that we don't see the scenes that we saw in China, the scenes that we saw in Europe, of these hospitals and healthcare systems overwhelmed by the surge in cases.
Yeah. Has anybody indicated in these listening sessions that you've had with providers, has anybody indicated that that they are finding that they are very close to capacity to the point where they're concerned, or do they feel like now, because of the mitigation and what we did before, that they're in a better place and that they feel like they are prepared, but they're not seeing the kind of numbers that they did see, say, back in March?
Right. I mean, we have, you're seeing rises here and there,
Yeah.
but it looks as if, and this is a good thing, that the providers are prepared for this. That when the virus moves, that they have prepared themselves. That in some ways they're necessarily better prepared than we were in January. The productive capacity of this country is so great that getting supplies and testing and all the things that people need to prepare is far better than it was 5 months ago when we were first confronting this disease. And, it's better today than it was yesterday. It'll be better tomorrow. And as we head towards the fall, it's going to be better still for us to be prepared for this. There are always bare patches in these cases. People go, I wish I had more of this. I wish I had more of that.
Yeah.
But it is far better than it was. And at this point, we are hearing of really much smaller cases, very specific issues where people say, I wish I had more of this. I wish I had more of that.
Right.
And that's always going to be the case.
Yeah. And I think it's fair to say, by the way, Eric Hargan joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, the Trump administration's Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services. We're talking about the safe reopening of the country and talking about COVID, and we're talking about as we have moved forward. I hate that there would be politics ever in something like a virus. I hated it from day one. I hated that was that kind of a discussion, that if there was anything that should bring us all together, it would be this situation. But at the same time, to your point, that we also have to recognize that the further we get into this, and the more that we know, and the more that we know about costs, the more that we know about the disease itself, the more that we know about capacity, the more we know about how mitigation does and does not work in some ways, the opening of the country as opposed to what it does to mental health and to what we just discussed and the concerns about not getting screenings and the like, that you can't deny that it's easy to Monday morning quarterback, right? It's easy to sit back and say, well, we should have done this and should have done that. But knowing that there are very valuable things that are happening right now that we are doing in this administration and you are doing with what we have to make things better, to be better prepared. It's some people speak of it as if it's static, like nothing has changed. Quite the contrary. We have learned a lot, and there are a lot of great things that are happening.
Yeah, I mean, you look at sort of the things that we're doing on not just the productive side, where we have produced from standing start. We've got 30 million tests for a new disease. I mean,
right.
As we say as we said at the beginning, it's a novel coronavirus. This is the first time we've seen this particular virus, and we moved from not having ever seen it to 30 million tests being prepared for it and administered to people. A few months later, we moved from getting the virus making a sequence of it, and then moving to the fastest move into human trials, really in the history of vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
So and we have got an array of things that have been produced that we've adopted, in, say, Operation Warp Speed, which we've been talking about. We're moving to prepare vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics at such a rapid pace. And I mean, that really bears out the trust that the administration and President Trump have placed in the American people to respond to this crisis. This really, as we call it, a whole of America response to this.
Yeah.
This isn't a centralized focus of this pandemic. It's really going out there to the states, the localities, the private sector, and involving them in the response. And the response, frankly, has been fantastic to this. It's been magnificent, the response on the part of the ingenuity and the productive capacity and the good sense of the American people.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that if you were to talk about this 5 years ago and project out and say there's going to be a time where we're going to have a pandemic, and these are all the things that are going to happen, and this is the way that we're going to look at this a few months later, and how the American people have done the mitigation, even if you're talking about the distancing and masks and all the things that we've been able to. I think people might say that no way, it would never happen. You would never have. But of course, it's the people. It's business. It's the American. It's American ingenuity. It's coming together with these companies and to try to find these therapeutics and vaccines and everything that is happening in unison, that we have all come together. It just shows the American spirit. It shows how great the country is and how we can come together in crisis and some of the things that are still happening. And I'm sure you still continue to encourage, as we do. People have been talking about being vigilant as far as protecting the most vulnerable and watching out for family members and continuing to do those things. We're not just pushing it all aside. We're making sure that we do that in combination with the things that have to be done moving forward.
Yes. I mean, you look at particularly Florida and how there's been really good response. I mean, Governor DeSantis had a very thoughtful response to how to sort of impose restrictions and defer. Different parts of Florida responded differently because it's a really large state, and has a large senior population, which is vulnerable in this particular viral outbreak. And yet Florida has tremendous numbers. I mean, great numbers in terms of the response. Every person who's infected, every person who is afflicted by this disease, that's a bad thing. And that should be said. That's something we have to pay attention to, and that's a fact. But from the numbers point of view, from what we've been able to achieve as a community, and what Florida's been able to achieve as a community, is really very, very good.
Yeah.
Comparatively to in many cases to other large states, to other afflicted states, and then frankly to the world at large, particularly in the area of addressing the most vulnerable population, the elderly. It's been a tremendous response here.
Yeah, and I can't emphasize this enough before we go to make sure that if you're someone who is listening who has been before going to your provider for screenings, for cancer screenings, heart issues, whatever it may be that is going on in your life with your health issues, I can't emphasize it enough to make sure you get back into that routine, that you do not wait, that you do all of those things. It's important to get back into that routine to make sure you are your continued health and the things that you need to look out for are noticed and looked at by your provider. Do not stop. And certainly I think that's an important message to continue to put out there. Eric Hargan joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, Trump administration's Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services. And we appreciate a few minutes of your time, sir. And hopefully we'll get a chance to do this again. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. All the best. 239-479-5592 is the phone number and the text line. Also streaming live on YouTube. We would love to have you subscribe to the channel at Drew Steele Radio. All right, let's find out what's happening right now with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
A disabled vehicle on the Cade Bridge as you're heading eastbound into Fort Myers. Just a tap on your brakes as you are passing through. Also, there's a disabled vehicle reported in Fort Myers at Palm Drive and South Cleveland Avenue. No major backups here. This is just near Boy Scout. Commuters in Cape Coral seeing a slowdown on Academy Boulevard south towards Veterans. The best way to navigate around it, Country Club. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020, at least so far. Heat advisory is in effect. Temperatures topping out in the mid-90s. Heat index as high as 107 to 112. By the late afternoon and evening, a chance of spotty showers and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
There's the left way, and then there's the right way. 92.5 Fox News, the conservative, smart, right voice of Southwest Florida.
1 hour air conditioning and heating, always on time, or you don't pay a dime. Please visit us at www.onehourairnaples.com or call 844-1HOUR.
True relief for back and neck pain.
At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, if you're suffering with a spinal-related problem, pain, numbness, or weakness, through the use of spinal decompression therapy, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of local residents return to a pain-free, productive life. People who once suffered from stenosis, sciatica, bulging, or herniated discs and thought there was no solution are now living pain-free. Spinal decompression is relaxing and painless, while it gently eases pressure off painful nerves and spinal discs. No pain, no needles, and no surgery. I've successfully been using spinal decompression in Southwest Florida for over 13 years, and the results are only getting better. Take your life back. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
Hey, it's Drew Steele here, and hurricane season, you know, it's upon us, and it's supposed to be a pretty active season for 2020. Get peace of mind from my friends at Generator Supercenter, the #1 Generac automatic standby generator dealer in the nation. You don't have to sweat the next outage. I've had my Generac for years. It is amazing. Get your free estimate on your Generac automatic standby generator today, in time for hurricane season, with expert installation and 24-hour monitoring. Generator Supercenter. Give them a shout at 204-3469. That's 204-3469 for Generator Supercenter.
I'm Dean Eagle, and I've had enough. Our freedoms and values are under attack, not from an outside enemy, but from within. Antifa terrorists and the radical left have declared war on our country. They are killing our police, looting our businesses, assaulting the elderly, and burning our churches. To make matters worse, the Democrats are doing nothing. In fact, they're doing just the opposite. Biden and Hollywood elites are bailing the terrorists out of jail. AOC and the squad are helping organize the riots, and Nancy Pelosi is cheering them on. I'm Dane Eagle, and I'm running for Congress because we cannot let the radical left continue to destroy our country. I stand with our police, and I stand for justice. We need law and order. We need to arrest all Antifa terrorists, investigate those who are funding them, and vote out all of their sympathizers. If we do not do that, everything that we love about America is at risk. Our freedoms, our jobs, and our safety are at stake. I'm Dane Eagle, and I approve this message. Paid for by Dane Eagle for Congress.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. My friends at Zero Res Carpet and Tile Cleaning want to let you know, look, your safety and your family's safety is their top priority. In the light of the current health and safety concerns, Zero Res wants to let you know about some of the procedures and preventative measures for added protection. Practicing safe social distancing while in your home. You can even leave or stay in another room and they can communicate with you by phone. How cool is that? Cleaning and disinfecting all equipment with EPA-registered disinfectants between each job. The techs are wearing gloves and booties. They're supplementing the supply of products that are EPA approved to clean and disinfect hard surfaces, and as an added preventive measure, at no additional fee, they're going to treat doorknobs with the EPA approved hospital grade disinfecting products. Look, the top priority is to create peace of mind by providing people with healthy, safe, clean home and work environments, and they're going to continue to do just that through this difficult time. Give them a call at 239-932-9376. That's 239-932-9376, or online at ZeroResSWFL.com. Spell it backwards or forwards, it still spells the same. ZEROREZ.
Mamma mia, airport Kia. Mamma mia, airport Kia.
Come in today, where Kia is committed to accelerating the good on a 2020 Kia Sportage from only $23,900 with no payments for 120 days and 0% interest for 75 months. Through Kia Motors Finance with approved credit. Not all buyers will qualify. $1,389 per month for $1,000 financed at 72 months. See dealer for details plus tax and dealer fee. Offer expires 6/30/20. Check us out online anytime at airportkianaples.com.
Airport Kia.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have something important that I want to share with you about my good friends Kevin and Todd at AMCO of Bonita Springs. Look, they understand the last thing you need to worry about in 2020 is what to do and where to go when you're having car troubles, right? Their shops know a thing or two about hard times, especially since they opened in 2008. Remember, that was during a recession, and they've worked hard from day one and every day since to make sure they simply do the right thing when it comes to your auto or truck repair needs. Not only are Kevin, Todd, and the team great conservatives, but they're also very good at what they do when it comes to the maintenance and repairs that you need, whatever that may be. Because look, you rely on that vehicle each day to get you where you need to be. Not only do they do all things related to transmission work, but they even do brakes, air conditioning, check engine light diagnostic, tires, alignments. Look, you name it, they can handle it. Southwest Florida's come to know AMCO of Bonita Springs as the place you can trust with your car or truck. So give them a call, will you? 992-2626. That's 239-992-2626. And if it's your first time into the shop, make sure you let them know you heard it right here on 92.5 Fox News.
Looking for a frameless shower door? My Shower Door has just opened their 8th Florida showroom, and it's conveniently located in Cape Coral. With more than 75,000 frameless shower doors installed, no one has more experience and 5-star reviews than My Shower Door. We've been named #1 by readers of the News Press and Naples News for 17 consecutive years and have just been named as Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
Lee County, 1,200 square miles, 500 miles of waterways, 130 schools, and you. Protecting paradise is a big job, but Sheriff Carmine Marcino and his deputies are hard at work, holding career criminals accountable, leading the fight against COVID-19, keeping our crime rate one of the lowest in the state, and keeping our businesses, neighborhoods, and schools safe.
I'm Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino, and my mission is simple. I serve to protect. That is why our Safe Kids, Safe Schools program puts a school resource officer in every school. And that's why I put more deputies on the street to stop career criminals. It is why I'm committed to keeping you informed about our COVID-19 response. No matter the threat, whether it's a pandemic, civil unrest, or natural disasters, we will keep Lee County one of the safest in Florida. I'm Sheriff Carmine Marcino, and I serve to protect you.
This is paradise. Sheriff Marcino is here to protect it. Sponsored by Conservative Champion Leaders.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stadium Dry Cleaners. Online at stadiumdrycleaners.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Cape Coral police are looking for the person who opened fire on a restaurant. It happened Wednesday night at Hurricane Grill and Wings on Pine Island Road. Police say there is no danger to the public at this time. On Friday, NCH will no longer do drive-through coronavirus testing at Baker Hospital. They say that's because more doctors are able to do testing at their own practices. Community members can call their primary care doctor with NCH to schedule a testing appointment. Starting today, if you travel to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, you will have to quarantine. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo announced a 14-day quarantine for people traveling from states with rising cases, and that includes Florida. The Lee County School District Reopening Task Force has drafted a new plan to get your children back to school. When it comes to transportation, they decided to limit distancing between students, but emphasize the use of face masks and other protective measures like hand sanitizer and windows are important. They'll also likely assign seats. This recommendation, along with several others, will be presented to the school board next month. Collier County deputies have arrested 17-year-old Mark Boulot for starting a house fire that killed a man. The fire happened Tuesday in Golden Gate. Deputies say they have evidence that he bought a canister of gas at a Circle K prior to the fire. He lived at that house. Fort Myers police are looking for the person who fired a gun Tuesday night, happening at Winkler Avenue and the Ford Avenue extension. The victim is already out of the hospital. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
At a disabled vehicle on the Cade Bridge as you're heading eastbound into Fort Myers. Just a tap on your brakes as you are passing through. Also, there's a disabled vehicle reported in Fort Myers at Palm Drive and South Cleveland Avenue. No major backups here. This is just near Boy Scout. Commuters in Cape Coral seeing a slowdown on Academy Boulevard south towards Veterans. The best way to navigate around it, Country Club. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020 as we have a heat advisory in effect. Air temperatures in the mid-90s. However, with all the tropical air, it could feel as hot as 107 to 112. We are going to see the development of some hit or miss pop-up showers and storms by the late afternoon and evening, which, hey, for some nice heat relief. As we look ahead to your Friday and the weekend, more hotter than average weather, even for our summer standards. Temperatures in the mid-90s, the heat index well over 100 to 105. And then into next week, lower 90s with scattered rain and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Want to talk about Stadium Dry Cleaners. My good friends, they are great people there. I've been going to Stadium Dry Cleaners, I'm telling you, for as long as I can remember. And you may know Larry Rose. Now, Larry is an experienced SEC and NFL referee. Well, I know Larry has a fantastic dry cleaner and a great businessman. Look, you're going to love Stadium Dry Cleaners. They have discounts for our first responders and seniors. They have multiple locations near Publix at Daniels Crossing in Fort Myers, the Gateway Trade Center in Fort Myers, and the Elegant Image Dry Cleaners next to Walgreens on Del Prado in Cape Coral. They are Lee County's leading dry cleaner since 1988. With 30 years of experience in Lee County, I'm telling you, I trust my family's dry cleaning to Larry and the team at Stadium Dry Cleaners. So will you visit them? Visit stadiumdrycleaners.com and look for their monthly specials for great savings.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. You might have seen our matte gray trucks with blue and white lettering on the road. Just know that in every truck you see, there's a certified technician who is trained to repair your system, not just sell you a system. As always, you can chat with us online at getpureair.com. Also, please join me every Saturday at 11:30 for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
Trade in and trade up. Over $500,000 in trade-in assistance up for grabs at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. 2020 Kia Forte LXS lease, 0 down, $159 per month. 2020 Kia Sorrento LX lease, 0 down, $259 per month. Plus, at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers, you can drive interest-free up to 72 months and worry-free for 100,000 miles. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you've got $500 down and you make at least $500 per week, our lenders can get you approved. At Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
36-month lease is 10,000 miles per year, 0 due at signing plus tax, tag, title, dealer, and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit, $13.88 per month per thousand borrowed for 72 months at 0 APR with 0 down with lender approval.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Stay ranked 92.5 Fox News. Streaming live on YouTube. You could watch anytime at Drew Steele Radio. Steele with 3 E's, just like Jake. Jake the Millennial. Jake the Millennial has 3 E's. I was just informed of that a little earlier. He's very proud to let everybody know on the other side of the glass. All right, you look at, we learn something new every day.
I just thought it was a fun fact, you know?
Okay, it's a fun fact. Kevin Derby, FloridaDaily.com, has two E's in his name. Unless, of course, you spell it wrong, then it would be Kevin Derby with 3 E's, which would be really foolish to do because then you wouldn't know how to spell his name and then know to go to FloridaDaily.com, and there we go. It's been a while, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing well, Drew. How are you doing in this crazy 2020?
Oh, boy, it is crazy. And here in the state of Florida, it seems like it's getting crazier. I want to get to some of the things that the governor signed off on recently and even some other things that are happening in just a minute. But I do want to talk about the state because I've been looking at some of what people, the 270 to win, so to speak, and looking at the presidential election and how everybody is looking at Florida as a toss-up. Nobody has a clue. Nobody has a clue what's going to happen according to all of these different places that you can look and see and the discussion from politicians. Who knows what Florida is going to be like? How close is it? What's the vibe that you're getting? What are you hearing as far as the presidential race in the state? What are some of the numbers that you're seeing, and do you trust them?
Look, some of the polls right now show Biden with a slight lead. Actually, New York Times CNN had him with a considerable lead in its recent poll that came out today. I'm not buying that. Florida is going to be close. It is going to be hard fought come November. I will say this is a very different outlook from Republicans, though, than we were getting 6 to 8 months ago. I think there was a little bit of a sense that, Florida's in the bag for Trump. That was a mistake. Florida is never in the bag. It is always close. This is the premier battleground state in American politics. And I think Florida, people were saying last year, I think Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, those will be more important. Nope. Florida's going to be a battleground.
Yeah.
That's where things stand. This is going to be that tough. I will say one thing. There's a lot of important races. There's a lot of important contests, whether to raise the minimum wage, open congressional seats. You have one in Southwest Florida with Francis Rooney retiring. Nobody's paying attention. It is all about the presidential contest in the Sunshine State.
Yep, and that's why I wanted to have you on and talk about some of the specifics, because make no mistake about it, everybody. Here's what we all need to know and understand. Yes, we've got the presidential race. Yes, it is important for people who believe in law and order as opposed to whatever the Democrats would be bringing to a table. And we can get into those details in just a bit as well. But the down ballot races are not being discussed. They're not being. It's the issues that are on the table here in the state. It's critical that we understand that after everything is said and done, there's a possibility that there is a lot that could look a whole lot different here in the state if you're not careful and not paying attention. So before we get into the specific issues, you brought it up, and I want to ask you, CD19, where we are here in Southwest Florida. From the outside, because, you got 172 people that are running here, and nobody knows half the people, and nobody knows half the names, and I have made the case. My concern is that we've been this way. We've been down the road already with people who have come along and who have won the seat, and we thought they were one way, and it turns out that they were another way, and they were not the people that they said they were. And there's something to be said about a record. Maybe people that are on the record, maybe people that have been in office at a state level, and that we can look and examine and see and everything else. But what about the outside perspective? What are people saying is going to happen from the outside looking in?
Well, I'll tell you, in Washington and Tallahassee, they're picturing it as basically a Republican contest between Byron Donalds and Dane Eagle with a slight advantage. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. Look, we've seen it so many times. Let's be very honest. This congressional seat has been a political hot potato, changing, people changing office every few years, a procession of various congressmen.
Yep.
I think there's a huge chance an outsider can come in and win the Republican primary. Sound familiar? Well, Trey Riddell did it.
Yep.
Bert Clausen did it. That is absolutely possible. I think a lot of the pundit class, the chattering class, the activists, the financial guys, both in D.C. and Tallahassee, are making a mistake of seeing this as Donalds versus Dane Eagle. I think this race is wide open. Anyone can make a move, especially with, as we noted, it's kind of on the back burner, even though it's less than 2 months away now at this point in time.
Yeah.
I think this one is wide open. It can go a lot of different ways.
Yeah, so we certainly will talk about it more in depth coming up, and we want to keep an eye on that. Let's talk about Kevin Derby, FloridaDaily.com. Let's talk about some of the other things that are on the ballot that maybe people don't realize, some of the big decisions that will be made by the public coming up in the next few months. Talk about some of the specifics.
Yeah, I think the big one outside the presidential contest is going to be the proposed minimum wage increase, going all the way to $15, doing it gradually, adding $1 a year. Most polls show this is going to be extremely popular. It'll get the 60% needed to be added to the amendment. The question is, how much will the business community fight this? They've talked about it. But with the pandemic going on, they have other concerns. Also, there's a lot of companies already starting to kind of hedge their bets. Disney and the theme parks, for example, in Central Florida, and that giant mouse on I-4 does dictate where a large part of the business community goes. Although it's kind of breaking down races a little bit. One thing to keep an eye on. Every now and then we'll say this, like every 2 or 4 years, but I'm starting to get the sneaking suspicion if the Democrats are going to flip the state Senate anytime soon, this might be their year. The House is safe for Republicans. The Democrats, though, might have a chance. They have to run the table, but it is in theory possible for the Democrats to flip the state Senate for the first time in 25 years. That is a possibility. One thing we keep harking on is in Central Florida, in the Orlando metropolitan area, 1,000 new residents a week. That is, they are almost impossible to track. They are impossible to poll. If there's going to be surprises, it's going to be there. Well, who are these people? A lot of them are younger, but at the same time, a lot of them are older. People coming down from Great Lakes, Northeast New England, New York, coming down to places like the Villages. That's going to be the question. Where do these voters go? Are they registered? That's going to be a question determining where things go in Florida.
Right, and politically, who are they? I think that we, in the past, I think we took for granted that if they were moving to Central Florida or people were coming into the state, that it's either one of two things, Kevin, and maybe you can speak to this. You're moving to Central Florida. We know what Central Florida is like. We know the political swing there in Central Florida, and it's decidedly left. But the people that come into the country, into the state, we don't know. We're not really sure, and you can't bank on the fact that because they're moving to Central Florida that they're going to be they're going to vote one way. Especially considering that if you're coming here to the state, you would hope and pray that people that are coming to the state of Florida, if they're coming to Southwest Florida, you're leaving your politics behind. If you're coming from a state where the politics are Michigan, New York, New Jersey, where it's awful, you don't want to bring that here. You're trying to escape that. So there's an assumption that you would hope that maybe there would be a little more right-leaning, so to speak, politics there. But what do you say about that?
Yeah, amongst the retirees, absolutely. And I will say, I think I-75, it has brought in a lot of people from the Great Lakes area, the Midwest, who are fleeing those kind of economic climates, who are fleeing those kind of political climates. Yeah. Now, the Northeast, 95 of those 3 counties in Southeast Florida, different story. Yeah. Also, the other thing is, look, that Puerto Rican population on I-4 continues to expand. Now, Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis made considerable inroads into that population in 2018. And in return, why was Rick Scott one of the biggest champions of Puerto Rican statehood on Capitol Hill? Well, there you go. Where do these voters go in 2020? Is Biden going to be able to make a play for them? Are they still angry about Trump with the hurricane response? One other thing to keep in mind, Congresswoman Val Demings, second term Congresswoman out of Orlando, former Orlando police chief. Right now, she's in Biden's top 5 potential running mates. Right. If she gets there, she will be a dynamic candidate and nail down Central Florida. She really will.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. She went to my high school, so perhaps I'm a little kinder to her than I am most Democrats. But I will say, look, she has been a very effective politician in her first 4 years on the national stage. She even gave Dan Webster a scare, one of the most established politicians in the state. She gave him a scare back in 2012 in a race that should not have been close. She could be a factor. She really could.
I wonder if there is a way to do it, but boy, it's tough. In the past, we said how Florida goes, so goes the election. Now there are people that are saying how Arizona goes the election. How does the election go if Joe Biden gets Florida? How does the president do this?
He doesn't. Joe Biden doesn't need to win Florida. Trump absolutely needs to win Florida. There is no path to victory without Trump winning Florida. Biden can still do okay if he flips Arizona, maybe North Carolina, and 2 of those 3 states in the Midwest, Northeast, Great Lakes area, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Arizona scares me. Look, it hasn't gone for the Democrats since '96. But right now, you have a very, very tight Senate race there with McSally fighting Mark Kelly. I think Kelly's going to be a heavy favorite come November. One thing that scares me, Governor Ducey and McSally are on one side. Kelly Ward, the chairwoman of the Arizona GOP, is on the other. They have been savaging each other. It is one of the most internally divided GOPs in this country. It is ugly, and frankly, it is not helpful. It is a state where, if they're not careful, the Arizona Republicans could end up costing the president of that state.
Oh, boy. All right, good stuff, and we'll have you back on soon, Kevin Derby, FloridaDaily.com. Get all the news that you need to know about what's happening here in the state of Florida there at the website, FloridaDaily.com. And, we'll get into more detail on some of what is coming up in the next few months, certainly here in the state. All right, Kevin, good to talk to you, my friend. All right,
take care.
We'll see you soon. 239-479-5592. Hey, it's time for Drew's College. Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We will see if you earn a PhD. Have a little bit of fun right now. If you would like to play, caller number 3. Why don't we make it caller 3 today at 239-479-5592. Caller 3 on the way. We will play Drew's College, and then after that, coming up, a lot of talk about the decision yesterday with Michael Flynn, a big one. We'll play some audio from Sidney Powell and some other things that are going on as well that you need to hear on the way. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along with traffic, here's Sabrina Katz.
A crash in Collier County on Golden Gate Parkway as you're getting off of I-75 southbound. If you are heading this way, guys, definitely make sure to watch that speed. Also, the disabled vehicle in Fort Myers at South Cleveland Avenue and Palm Drive is slowing traffic a touch southbound on 41 if you're heading towards Crystal Drive. And there's a slowdown in Fort Myers as well on Veronica Shoemaker heading north towards Palm Beach Boulevard. If you want to avoid it, hop on Marsh Avenue. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020, at least so far. Heat advisory is in effect. Temperatures topping out in the mid-90s. Heat index as high as 107 to 112. By the late afternoon and evening, a chance of spotty showers and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. Drew Steel, weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
For over 20 years, the Good Feet store has been helping people with foot pain get back to doing what they love without their feet getting in the way. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers.
Your local 1-hour air conditioning and heating team is open and ready to serve you. AC isn't a luxury, but rather is essential to your life. Give our team a call at 844-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
As our state representative, Ray Rodriguez has always been the conservative we could count on. Now, Ray wants to take his conservative record to the Florida Senate. Ray Rodriguez fought to end illegal immigration in Florida. He helped ban sanctuary cities and fought alongside Governor DeSantis to protect our jobs by passing E-Verify. Ray will continue to fight to ensure those in our country illegally will not find sanctuary in our state. When it came to protecting the right to life, no one was more pro-life than Ray Rodriguez. In Florida's Senate, Ray will continue the fight to protect the unborn. And when Donald Trump needed him the most, Ray was there. As one of Florida's members of the Electoral College, Ray stood strong against Hillary Clinton and the Democrats when they tried to steal the election by flipping electors. In the Florida Senate, Ray will always support President Trump and his plan to keep America great. Ray Rodriguez has always been a conservative we could count on. Now, we need him in the Florida Senate. Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican for the Florida Senate.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Dial pound law on your cell, pound law, that's all. Offices, Fort Myers and Naples.
Not another minute not writing my novel.
Not another minute not sleeping in just because.
Not another minute putting off a long overdue midlife crisis.
Photography class.
Trip to the wine country. Not another minute not knowing if anti-estrogen therapy beyond 5 years is likely to benefit me.
Women with hormone receptor positive breast cancer should talk to their doctor about Breast Cancer Index to help decide if anti-estrogen therapy beyond 5 years is right for them. Find out more at breastcancerindex.com.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Steve in Naples. Hello there, Steve.
How you doing?
I'm doing. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. And, sir, your associate's degree question starts right now. You ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, good. Hey, Steve, can you name 2 rights or freedoms from the First Amendment? Can you give me 2 of them?
Well, that would be freedom of speech and freedom of religion.
There you go. There's 2. Very good. All right, you got an associate's to see if you get a bachelor's degree on this question. Do you know how many U.S. senators there are? How many U.S. senators are there?
There are 100.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a bachelor's to see if you get a master's on this question. Can you name the 3 branches of government? When we say branches of government, what are we talking about? What 3?
That would be the legislative, the executive, and the judicial.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a master's. We'll see if you get a PhD on this one. It may be the hardest question that we ask all week. You ready?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. That's a great setup from me, wasn't it? Sorry. Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, remember her? She ran for president of the United States in 2016. Who was her running mate?
That would be Senator Tim Kaine.
Ah, yes, it was. Very good. Congratulations. You see, you're just like, that's not really that hard. Great. You got a PhD today on Drew's College. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully you have a place that you're going to hang it up proudly. You got a place in your home, or where would you do with it? Where is it going to go? What would you do there, Steve?
Really, that's up to my wife.
It's up to that is an excellent answer. And by the way, Jake is paying attention. Jake the Millennial. Jake, take lessons. Listen to what he's saying. These are valuable life lessons. He's just shaking his head. No, he doesn't think so.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yes. Okay, Jake. What are you saying about that? You don't agree with that?
Sure.
Okay. Well, then if she says, put it in the bedroom, then it goes in the bedroom, right there on the wall next to.
She tells you to jump off a bridge, you're gonna do it?
Easy. If you want peace in the house, it depends how deep the water is and how high the bridge is.
Exactly right.
We need to answer all the questions, Jake. Okay. All right, you get to speak to Jake, which may or may not be a thrill. That's coming up, and he'll get you the diploma.
Good work, Drew.
I'm trying. All right, you stay there, Steve. All right, Steve got himself a great, fantastic, super amazing PhD today on Drew's College. I can't think of any other superlatives. All right, coming up, listen, there's a lot going on. As you probably know, the explosive new FBI notes that confirm that the President of the United States, Barack Obama, had direct Anti-Flynn, had connections and a key role in the surveillance and the leak operation against Michael Flynn. So make no mistake about it, Obama was involved. He was part of it. So was the vice president. The evidence is there. We're going to talk about that. Oh, and by the way, what he said in the past about and knowing anything about Michael Flynn. I didn't know anything. All right, we're going to get to all of that coming up. So you're going to find out those details. Sidney Powell, as a matter of fact, was on with Lou Dobbs yesterday. Michael Flynn's attorney had a few things to say that should be chilling to you. And it's in regard to this election as well and what's coming. Also, there was a crazy back and forth last night with Martha McCallum and the New York chairman of Black Lives Matter. It was bizarre, and it was frightening as well. What did they say? We'll have it coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have something important that I want to share with you about my good friends Kevin and Todd at AMCO of Bonita Springs. Look, they understand the last thing you need to worry about in 2020 is what to do and where to go when you're having car troubles, right? Their shops know a thing or two about hard times, especially since they opened in 2008. Remember, that was during a recession, and they've worked hard from day one and every day since to make sure they simply do the right thing when it comes to your auto or truck repair needs. Not only are Kevin, Todd, and the team great conservatives, but they're also very good at what they do when it comes to the maintenance and repairs that you need, whatever that may be. Because look, you rely on that vehicle each day to get you where you need to be. Not only do they do all things related to transmission work, but they even do brakes, air conditioning, check engine light diagnostic, tires, alignments. Look, you name it, they can handle it. Southwest Florida's come to know AMCO of Bonita Springs as the place you can trust with your car or truck. So give them a call, will you? 992-2626. That's 239-992-2626. And if it's your first time into the shop, make sure you let them know you heard it right here on 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is Matt Caldwell. I spent 8 years in the Florida House fighting for our conservative values. We cut billions in taxes, balanced our budget every year, removed government barriers to job growth, and made huge strides in fixing our water quality. Now I'm looking to use that experience as your next Lee County property appraiser. I've spent the past 20 years working as a professional property appraiser in both the residential and commercial markets. It's something I know well, and I'm the only candidate with this experience in the industry. I'm Matt Caldwell, and through the years, I've proven myself as a trusted, principled conservative. More than ever, it is crucial that we have strong conservatives with a proven record, someone in office that you know will not back down and will always defend our values. I've served you before, and I'm ready to do it again. I'm Matt Caldwell. I'm running for Lee County Property Appraiser, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Matt Caldwell, Republican for Lee County Property Appraiser.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News update is presented by CFS Roofing. Online at cfsroofing.com.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Cape Coral police are looking for the person who opened fire on a restaurant. It happened Wednesday night at Hurricane Grill and Wings on Pine Island Road. Police say there is no danger to the public at this time. On Friday, NCH will no longer do drive-through coronavirus testing at Baker Hospital. They say that's because more doctors are able to do testing at their own practices. Community members can call their primary care doctor with NCH to schedule a testing appointment. Starting today, if you travel to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, you will have to quarantine. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo announced a 14-day quarantine for people traveling from states with rising cases, and that includes Florida. The Lee County School District Reopening Task Force has drafted a new plan to get your children back to school. When it comes to transportation, they decided to limit distancing between students, but emphasize the use of face masks and other protective measures like hand sanitizer and windows are important. They'll also likely assign seats. This recommendation, along with several others, will be presented to the school board next month. Collier County deputies have arrested 17-year-old Mark Boulot for starting a house fire that killed a man. The fire happened Tuesday in Golden Gate. Deputies say they have evidence that he bought a canister of gas at a Circle K prior to the fire. He lived at that house. Fort Myers police are looking for the person who fired a gun Tuesday night, happening at Winkler Avenue and the Ford Avenue extension. The victim is already out of the hospital. I'm Corey Lazar. Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
A crash in Collier County on Golden Gate Parkway as you're getting off of I-75 southbound. If you are heading this way, guys, definitely make sure to watch that speed. Also, the disabled vehicle in Fort Myers at South Cleveland Avenue and Palm Drive is slowing traffic a touch southbound on 41 if you're heading towards Crystal Drive. And there's a slowdown in Fort Myers as well on Veronica Shoemaker heading north towards Palm Beach Boulevard. If you want to avoid it, hop on Marsh Avenue. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020 as we have a heat advisory in effect. Air temperatures in the mid-90s. However, with all the tropical air, it could feel as hot as 107 to 112. We are going to see the development of some hit-or-miss pop-up showers and storms by the late afternoon and evening, which, hey, for some nice heat relief. As we look ahead to your Friday and the weekend, more hotter than average weather, even for our summer standards. Temperatures in the mid-90s, the heat index well over 100 to 105. And then into next week, lower 90s with scattered rain and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Home is truly where the heart is. CFS Roofing Services understands that. When I saw what CFS did for my neighbor's roof, I called them. Everyone was professional, and owner David Crowther has nearly 4 decades of experience. It's obvious they care.
CFS Roofing Services, where your home matters most. Visit cfsroofing.com or call 239-561-2600. I'm David Crowther, and I approve this message.
The Chinese government lied about the coronavirus. China unleashed the Wuhan pandemic on the world, costing trillions, costing jobs, costing American lives. My name is Casey Askar. This crisis proves President Trump is right. We must control our border, bring manufacturing back to America, and stop depending on China. I'm Casey Askar, and I approve this message. China must pay. America must rebuild. Our survival depends on it.
Paid for by Casey Asker for Congress.
For over 20 years, the Good Feet store has been helping people with foot pain get back to doing what they love without their feet getting in the way. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Honey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home.
And due to these difficult times, we have extended our no diagnostic fees, no trip charges, no strings. Visit FloridaCoolToday.com to schedule. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Attention commercial building owners. The Flying Locksmiths of Southwest Florida are now open, specializing in automatic doors, access controls, and CCTV cameras. Visit them online at flyinglocksmiths.com. If it's on the door, we handle it.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. That is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. He is Jake the Millennial. He's sitting there getting ready to take your calls and your texts anytime you decide that it is your time. Streaming live on YouTube so you can see that face with the hoodie and the baseball cap. It's a look. It's what he does. It's how he is. It's his fashion. It's his fashion statement. Until he gets that sweet mullet. And then it'll be a completely different fashion statement.
Lack thereof.
Lack thereof. How about that? Streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch. Drew Steele Radio. Steele with 3 E's, as you know, Steele. And please subscribe while you're there. We appreciate it. Big news yesterday. You know, Joe Biden doesn't know anything. Joe Biden has no clue, doesn't know what's going on. Like the president said the other day, sometimes Joe Biden's is not sure exactly where he is. That's not really funny when you consider that man is going to be possibly the president of the United States. You're worried about that, right? Especially when you know that he lied to the American people when he said he knew nothing about any operation or anything going on with Michael Flynn, any kind of surveilling, any kind of investigation, any kind of operation. lying to you and saying he knew nothing when he was right there in the room when the discussion was going on. We find out yesterday the new FBI notes, explosive, that confirm that not only Joe Biden as vice president, but Barack Obama as president of the United States, both had something to do with it. Both were keenly involved in all of it. And that should worry you because, remember, everything that's happening right now and all the things that are going on, whether it's Black Lives Matter or whether it's the anarchy going on through Antifa and the like, and that they are going to continue to do this no matter who the president is, unless it is Joe Biden, in which case they feel like they might have a sensitive ear to the things that they want and that they demand, and a weak person that would probably go along with whatever they want, and they want that person to win. Again, not my words, but Black Lives Matter and Patrisse Cullors, the co-founder, who mentioned it on Friday, if you do remember. Let me see if I have that audio, just in case you didn't know this.
Well, hands down, Trump not only needs to not be in office in November, but he should resign now. Trump needs to be out of office. He is not fit for office.
So don't make it sound like Black Lives Matter does not have an agenda to get the president out of office, and because of that they are going to make a push to help Joe Biden become the president because they feel like there's going to be a sensitive ear, somebody who will listen, who will kneel to whatever they demand, literally and figuratively, both. Let's not forget that. That's why this election is so important. That's why it is something that you need to communicate. The other thing you need to communicate, and we're going to get to some of the audio coming up of Sidney Powell and what she said about this and the details of these notes, the Flynn operation notes, and how the former president of the United States clearly was involved in this and the weaponization of the federal government against Michael Flynn, an American citizen, and the president of the United States. But what we also have to remember is the fight does not end. The fight does not end if the president of the United States is reelected. It doesn't end. And you have to roll up your sleeves and be prepared for the continuation of this fight. There are so many people that I talk to, unfortunately, that say, I'm just tired. I'm beat down. I'm tired. I want all of this to go away. Does it go away if Joe Biden's the president? How bad could it possibly be? All of this will stop. Well, number one, will it? And number two, stops means what? What stops? You think anarchy stops when they believe that they have people in the White House that will acquiesce to whatever they say? Do you think it'll stop? It will not stop, and I can guarantee if Donald Trump is the president of the United States, they will find ways, the Democrats, the left in this country, progressives, Black Lives Matter, everybody will find a way to continue to perpetrate everything that is going on with the media's help, not interested in the facts, not interested in the truth, not interested into digging deep and finding out what is going on with the former administration and Spygate and everything else that we've all talked about. But they are going to continue to push against this president, push against the Constitution and our constitutional republic, and continue to help to tear down this country. I know that sounds horrible, that another 4 years of Donald Trump means another 4 years of this. So are you up for it? Are you up for the fight? Are you up for the battle? Or are you just going to sit back and say, I can't do it anymore? I just can't. And in which case, you can't be like that if you love your kids and you love this country. And I'm saying that. I just had a conversation in the newsroom about this very thing, how it's for the young people that are in the newsroom, how tough it is right now for those that not too long ago, if you wanted to get information, if you wanted to find out, if you said, you know what, I want to look into the history of the country. I want to know more about our founders. I want to know more about slavery in this country or what has transpired in the past. You could make the conscious effort in the past, let's say if you were a child of the 70s or 80s, 60s, whenever, to make that conscious effort to go out and to go and research and to find out yourself, because you made that decision. And in the newsroom, you know what they said? This. If you're watching on YouTube, you see what this is, right, Jake? This right here in front of me. This device, my phone, your phone, social media. Jake, can you escape social media if you wanted to? Is there any way that you could possibly get away from social media for a day, a week, or even from your phone at all?
So, I could, but I might come back to a global pandemic where no one's allowed to, come in within 6 feet, have to wear a mask before you go and all that kind of crazy stuff.
Okay. What they were trying to tell me is, and what I'm trying to tell them is they live in a world where even if they wanted to walk away from the issues of the day, even if they just said, you know what, I just want to hang out with my friends and have fun and just enjoy our company, drink some adult beverages, whatever the case is, they can't even do that because social media doesn't allow you to breathe or take a breath or walk away at all. And I'm not even talking about it's the fact that when you go on it, it's there. You're going to have it on your feed no matter what. So these kids can't even take a time out of all of this that's happening. And the left in this country has figured it out. Remember, politics is downstream from culture. The culture rules the day. And if the culture says that it's social media and that's where you have to be, and that's where everybody is connected and all the cool kids are, and that's where you're going to find out about everything, you're also going to find out about all the trash and the junk and the lies and everything that's perpetrated on that device as well. You can't escape it even if you wanted to. And I just feel bad for them. I really do. Newly released notes confirm that the president, Barack Obama, had a key role in surveillance and leak operations against Michael Flynn, the incoming Trump administration national security advisor. The handwritten notes, which were first disclosed in a federal court filing made by the Department of Justice on Tuesday, show that the president himself personally directed former FBI Director James Comey and former Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates to investigate Flynn for having routine phone calls with a Russian counterpart. Calls that they knew there was nothing wrong with, there was nothing there was no case, there was nothing to see, but yet they continued to move on with the case for no reason. They made it up. He also suggests they withhold information from the president and his key national security figures. This is a big deal. The handwritten notes not only talked about a president who said, make sure you look at things and have the right people on it, to James Comey, asking him if there's anything that he shouldn't be telling the transition team, and James Comey telling him that you shouldn't say to them that the Flynn-Kislyak calls appear legit. And remember, it wasn't too long ago where you had the former Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden. You may know Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden is
all men and women created by go. You know the thing.
The thing that nobody cares to follow these days. That thingy. On with George Stephanopoulos.
All men and women created.
Not that. This.
Said yesterday that move is justified because President Obama targeted Flynn. He called it, quote, the biggest political crime in U.S. history. Your former Senate colleague, Charles Grassley, has added that Flynn was entrapped and asked on the Senate floor, what did Obama and Biden know? When did they know it? So what did you know about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn? And was there anything improper done?
Yeah, what did you know about that, Joe Biden?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, number one. Number two, this is all about diversion.
Okay, it's all about diversion. Remember, I don't know anything about what you're talking about until you find out that in these new notes, the Vice President of the United States was there in the meeting with James Comey and the President and Sally Yates and Susan Rice and sat there and brought up the Logan Act and said, I've been in the intel community for 10 years and I never. And he brought up using the Logan Act, which is exactly where they were going. Joe Biden's a liar. He's lied to the American people. He lied to George Stephanopoulos. He's lying to you. And he's got big trouble coming up. Big trouble to say that he didn't know anything.
Now, I thought you asked me whether or not I had anything to do with him being prosecuted.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, he's sorry. Okay. Okay. In that case, yeah, he's in a lot of trouble, everybody. And Sidney Powell was talking about it yesterday, and She was on with Lou Dobbs, and they were talking about this very issue and saying how all of this is just, it's terrifying, everything that went down with Michael Flynn and the help of President Barack Obama and Vice President Biden.
It is absolutely terrifying, Lou, to think that this would go on in the United States of America. And these notes are simply damning, whether it was a phone conversation or a meeting or how it was conducted. The notes are clear in raising significant issues for Vice President Biden and, of course, Mr. Obama and their role in orchestrating and instructing and making sure this entire operation was carried out. It's just
and she said, "What there?"
Terrific.
Yeah, it's everything that's happening is horrific that they would carry this out. But then the chilling thing that she's bringing up, obviously, is that portion of it, and how really sinister it all was. That Michael Flynn knows everything. He was not a fan of what the former administration was doing with regards to Iran and the Iran deal and a lot of other things that were going on. Barack Obama would have a real problem if Mike Flynn, who knew where, quote unquote, all the bodies were buried, so to speak, were to be part of the incoming administration. That could be real trouble. And this whole thing is just sinister.
Really, that's the only way to take it is to, he's saying, make sure that people who are going to carry through into the next administration are on it, people that Mr. Comey and Mr. Obama could trust to make it come out the right way. I mean, there's really no reason for them to be having this conversation in the first place. It simply shouldn't have happened. I mean, we had both Comey and Mr. Obama saying, oh, no, we never interacted about any cases or anything. And then obviously here they did. And Mr. Biden was on TV not too long ago saying he had nothing to do with the Flynn investigation whatsoever. And then kabam, we've got these notes.
Joe Biden could possibly be the next president of the United States. This is why it's not only sinister but scary, is because you have Patrisse Cullors who said, Black Lives Matter, we want Trump out of office. You just heard the audio. They would probably rather see a Joe Biden who had no problem sitting there in the Oval Office with Barack Obama, scheming against an American citizen and trying to figure out how to weaponize the American government against that citizen, and did just that. Black Lives Matter, who would like to see Joe Biden be president, because anybody who would do something like that, is a friend of yours that you might be able to get something out of? A Black Lives Matter, by the way, who was on with Martha McCallum last night, talking, the New York Black Lives Matter chairman, and when Martha McCallum asked...
the way that I did was that I watched you, talking on a bunch of different interviews today, and you said, burn it down. You said, burn it down. It's time. So that makes me think that you want to burn it down.
I said, if this country doesn't give us what we want, then we will burn down this system and replace it. All right. And I could be speaking figuratively. Okay. I could be speaking literally.
Okay, let's just stop there. Put these dots together, everybody. Connect all of this. If you're telling me that Joe Biden was willing to weaponize the American government against a citizen and was there with Barack Obama and both of them together through Peter Strzok's notes that we had that we found out about from a January 5th meeting that was out there now, that we could see what was happening and how he was making notes, that he was having a conversation with James Comey about James Comey being in the room with Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Sally Yates and Susan Wright and everybody in the room. And the talk was about using the Logan Act against Michael Flynn, somebody who was proven to be innocent. The exculpatory evidence was there. That's why this case is so maddening to so many people, that the president of the United States make sure you look at things and have the right people on it, and to keep on this thing and not tell the transition team what's going on, knowing full well that the Flynn-Kislyak phone call between Michael Flynn and Kislyak was fine. There was nothing wrong. And all the other calls as well from Michael Flynn and Vice President Biden at the time saying, well, let's use the Logan Act, making that suggestion that all of these people were together and scheming to do this. Pretty sinister. And then you hear Black Lives Matter saying, listen, if the country doesn't give us what we want, then we will burn the system down and replace it. You could take it figuratively or literally. Well, two things are going to happen, everybody. Either Joe Biden's going to be the president of the United States, in which case you have a group who would like to see Joe Biden be president because they feel like they have somebody who is going to be sensitive to whatever they say. Basically, he's going to kneel figuratively and literally to them. And in which case, what does that mean? Replace it, burn it down. You know what it means. Or you're going to have Donald Trump as president of the United States, in which case the fight doesn't stop. None of this stops. It doesn't go away. And are you prepared for that? And you need to be. More than ever, you need to make sure that people you know get out and vote. More than ever, you need to know what's going on with the issues. More than ever, you need to be prepared for this because your kids are depending on you. I mean, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm being serious. Your kids are depending on you. Families are depending on you. The country as we know it is depending on you to make sure that you do all of these things. Because you can see where we're going. And yeah, it's going to be a fight in another 4 years, and it's going to be a fight after that. This is not going to go away. This is not something that's going to end because they see opportunity, they smell opportunity, they have individuals in government who are willing to go along with this, understand where we are. All right, Stay Break 92.5, Fox News. I was just going to say, how's that for an inspirational, optimistic message? Sorry about that. All right, it is what it is. All right, Sabrina Katz has your traffic.
A crash in Collier County on Golden Gate Parkway as you're getting off of I-75 southbound. If you are heading this way, guys, definitely make sure to watch that speed. Also, the disabled vehicle in Fort Myers at South Cleveland Avenue and Palm Drive is slowing traffic a touch southbound on 41 if you're heading towards Crystal Drive. And there's a slowdown in Fort Myers as well on Veronica Shoemaker heading north towards Palm Beach Boulevard. If you want to avoid it, hop on Marsh Avenue. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020, at least so far. Heat advisory is in effect. Temperatures topping out in the mid-90s. Heat index as high as 107 to 112. By the late afternoon and evening, a chance of spotty showers and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
Take control of your home's water. What does that even mean? Well, look, if you're thinking about taking control of the chlorine that's in your water, you're just tired of it. You know it's ruining your appliances. And you know that your family does not enjoy drinking water out of the faucet. They don't enjoy showering in it. Give Pelican Water Systems a call. Talk to my buddy Max. Schedule your free Pelican water test right now. Man, you're not going to believe what you find in your water. And they don't need to come in your home to test it. They have a zero contact option. And for city or well water, you're going to love the way your water tastes from every faucet. And Pelican, as you probably know, has both the industry-leading salt-free smart combo, so there's no lugging in bags of salt, and they have the Advantage salt system as well, so they have both salt and salt-free. And this month, you could save 15% on the Pelican salt-free smart combo. It's the same one I have, with UV protection. Now, UV protection, it helps reduce harmful bacteria, and it even works in a boil water alert. Had those before? Well, Pelican Water Specialists are standing by, taking your call right now. 239-880-7799. That's 239-880-7799. Or schedule online at PelicanWestFL.com.
23,000. That's how many life-giving breaths you take every day. But along with oxygen, you can breathe in pollen, pollution, and much worse. Your nose is your body's air filter, and it traps germs that can make you sick and allergens that can make you miserable. You wouldn't go a day without washing your hands or brushing your teeth, but how do you keep your nose clean? Nasal irrigation flushes out allergens, mucus, and germs, and it's clinically proven to relieve congestion naturally without drugs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage is the easy-to-use alternative to Neti Pot's pills and sprays. Here's my promise to you. Try Navage. If it doesn't relieve congestion and help you breathe better, sleep deeper, and feel healthier, just return it for a full, no-questions-asked refund. Online at Navage.com or at Walgreens, Bed Bath & Beyond, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Make good nasal hygiene your new normal with Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
I'm Ray Sandelli, Lee County Commissioner for District 3. I'm a businessman,
a veteran, and a proud family man. I have seen firsthand the impact the County Commission can have on our day-to-day lives and understand how critical it is to have someone with the right values in this office. The impact of the coronavirus is unprecedented. Now more than ever, we need to trust in our conservative principles to guide us back to prosperity. I'm Ray Sandelli, and I have the business experience and values we need to lead our county through difficult times. That's why Governor DeSantis put his trust in me. As a naval officer, aviator, and member of the Blue Angels flight demonstration team, I learned to trust my instincts. Now, my instincts tell me we need to reduce government, minimize regulations, and keep taxes low so we can bring jobs back to Lee County. I'm Ray Sandelli, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Ray Sandelli, Republican, for Lee County Commission, District 3.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. My friends at Zero Res Carpet and Tile Cleaning want to let you know, look, your safety and your family's safety is their top priority. In the light of the current health and safety concerns, Zero Res wants to let you know about some of the procedures and preventative measures for added protection. Practicing safe social distancing while in your home. You can even leave or stay in another room and they can communicate with you by phone. How cool is that? Cleaning and disinfecting all equipment with EPA-registered disinfectants between each job. The techs are wearing gloves and booties. They're supplementing the supply of products that are EPA-approved to clean and disinfect hard surfaces, and as an added preventive measure and no additional fee, they're going to treat doorknobs with the EPA-approved hospital-grade disinfecting products. Look, the top priority is to create peace of mind by providing people with healthy, safe, clean home and work environments, and they're going to continue to do just that through this difficult time. Give them a call at 239-932-9376. That's 239-932-9376 or online at ZeroResSWFL.com. Spell it backwards or forwards, it still spells the same. ZEROREZ.
If you needed heart surgery, who would you call? A doctor who's done it every day or a doctor who's done it once a year? The same is true about your erectile dysfunction. At the Fort Myers Men's Clinic, our Florida physicians focus on one thing: solving your ED. High blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, prostate cancer, these all contribute to your ED. And our physicians at the Fort Myers Men's Clinic know how to solve your problems. We have over 50 different custom formulations tailored just for you. You get to try the medication containing FDA-approved ingredients right in our office. Your total cost for the consultation, test dose, testosterone, and PSA test is only $99. If the test dose doesn't work, you pay us nothing. So you have absolutely nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Call now. 239-317-7777. That's 239-317-7777. And move from skeptic to believer. 317-7777, 317-7777, or online at fortmyersmensclinic.com.
So who is this Heather Fitzenhagen?
Oh, she's Planned Parenthood's favorite politician.
What?
Yep, Heather Fitzenhagen supports young girls getting an abortion without their parents knowing, and she voted for late-term abortions.
You're kidding me.
Nope. And it gets worse. She also supports the killing of unborn babies based on their gender.
That's horrible. No wonder Planned Parenthood loves her.
She also fought against President Trump on immigration.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And she voted to give driver's licenses to illegal immigrants and to give them in-state tuition at our universities.
I did hear that. Didn't she also refuse to vote on banning sanctuary cities?
She sure did. Heather Fitzenhagen turned her back on President Trump and refused to vote to ban sanctuary cities in Florida.
And now she's running for the Florida Senate?
Yeah. Planned Parenthood's favorite politician, Heather Fitzenhagen, wants to be our senator.
We certainly don't need a Democrat representing us in the Senate.
Well, she claims to be a Republican, but whatever she thinks she is, we don't need Heather Fitzenhagen in Florida Senate.
Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican for Florida Senate.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stevie Tomato's Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. Cape Coral police are looking for the person who opened fire on a restaurant. It happened Wednesday night at Hurricane Grill and Wings on Pine Island Road. Police say there is no danger to the public at this time. On Friday, NCH will no longer do drive-through coronavirus testing at Baker Hospital. They say that's because more doctors are able to do testing at their own practices. Community members can call their primary care doctor with NCH to schedule a testing appointment. Starting today, if you travel to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, you will have to quarantine. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo announced a 14-day quarantine for people traveling from states with rising cases, and that includes Florida. The Lee County School District Reopening Task Force has drafted a new plan to get your children back to school. When it comes to transportation, they decided to limit distancing between students, but emphasize the use of face masks and other protective measures like hand sanitizer and windows are important. They'll also likely assign seats. This recommendation, along with several others, will be presented to the school board next month. Collier County deputies have arrested 17-year-old Mark Boulot for starting a house fire that killed a man. The fire happened Tuesday in Golden Gate. Deputies say they have evidence that he bought a canister of gas at a Circle K prior to the fire. He lived at that house. Fort Myers police are looking for the person who fired a gun Tuesday night, happening at Winkler Avenue and the Ford Avenue extension. The victim is already out of the hospital. I'm Corey Lazar. Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
A crash in Collier County on Golden Gate Parkway as you're getting off of I-75 southbound. If you are heading this way, guys, definitely make sure to watch that speed. Also, the disabled vehicle in Fort Myers at South Cleveland Avenue and Palm Drive is slowing traffic a touch southbound on 41 if you're heading towards Crystal Drive. And there's a slowdown in Fort Myers as well on Veronica Shoemaker heading north towards Palm Beach Boulevard. If you want to avoid it, hop on Marsh Avenue. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Get ready for the hottest day of 2020 as we have a heat advisory in effect. Air temperatures in the mid-90s. However, with all the tropical air, it could feel as hot as 107 to 112. We are going to see the development of some hit or miss pop-up showers and storms by the late afternoon and evening, which, hey, for some nice heat relief. As we look ahead to your Friday and the weekend, more hotter than average weather, even for our summer standards. Temperatures in the mid-90s, the heat index well over 100 to 105. And then into next week, lower 90s with scattered rain and storms. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
92.5 Fox News.
We are going to make America great again.
Right. All along.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Do you feel American pride and want to shout, God bless America? As a son of immigrants who came through Ellis Island, I stand when the national anthem plays and get emotional thinking of those who have sacrificed for America's greatness. At Stevie's, we're filled with gratitude for our great customers and the country we live in. The firemen, police, emergency service, construction workers, and those who go about each day providing the foundation for our country. We love our customers and express our gratitude with our food, service, and value. Thankful for your dedication for what you do. And to all our great customers, show your love for this great country by going to any Stevie's. Stand at the bar and say loud and clear for all to hear, God bless America, and I'll buy you a 10-ounce beer. Restrictions apply in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. God bless America.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Gotta go to Galliana. Great news, Southwest Florida. Below invoice employee pricing is back at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Lowest prices ever on over 1,500 new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Loaded, luxurious Grand Cherokee Limited lease, $289 per month. That's right, Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, $289 per month. 7-passenger Dodge Journey SUV, just $19,990. Plus at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, you can drive payment-free for 3 months or interest-free for 6 years and worry-free up to 100,000 miles. And our parts service and body shop are open to serve you. Below invoice employee pricing at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
Gotta go to Galliana.
42-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $19.99 due at signing, plus tax, tag title, dealer and acquisition fee, 0 security deposit, $13.88 per month per thousand borrowed for 72 months at 0 APR with 0 down with lender approval, offers don't combine.
We are Moran Wealth Management. Passionate about learning what's important to you and your family. Personable, with 24 professionals dedicated to attentive, customized service and focused on client relationships. Performance-driven. As part of Barron's top 1,200 advisors, Tom Moran, founder, CEO, and senior PIM portfolio manager, is Florida's highest-ranked advisor for 2019. Call 239-920-4440 today or visit MoranWealthManagement.com. Moran Wealth Management. Passionate, personable, performance-driven. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. A lot of calls. I see, let's see, Patrick and Kevin and Clint and Dave. We'll get to your calls coming up right after. Oh, by the way, 239-479-5592. That's the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. And streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch. Just go to Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Please subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate that. Here we go. Top 5 audio clips of the day is 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5. So when they admit that and have some suggestions that are worthy of consideration. But so far, they were trying to get away with murder, actually. The murder of George Floyd.
There's been another issue. Whoa. What was that? Okay, there you go. It was in an interview, Nancy Pelosi saying that Republicans are trying to get away with the murder of George Floyd. They're Senate Republicans. And, of course, if you heard about this, the bill there that was out that they were trying to move forward there in the Senate, the Democrats blocked it. They decided to block the police reform bill, which we said yesterday they don't want it. They want to keep that wedge going. It's going to get people to the polls. They don't want to solve the issue of police reform at all. And she even doubled and tripled down on it. We'll have some of that audio coming up. So there you go. Pretty disgusting if you are talking about Nancy Pelosi and saying that Republicans are trying to get away with the murder of George Floyd. Really? Is that really what she thinks?
Bowl of doggy do.
Pretty much.
Number 4.
It was a rope pull for the garage door. It was attached. The image you see of where it was cut, that's exactly what it was. But it was definitely in the shape of a noose. It wasn't a functioning noose. I talked to the FBI. The 2 conversations I had with the FBI, which I never thought I'd talk to the FBI in my lifetime. So, hey, there's always something there.
We didn't think so either. So there you go. NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace, who was telling the Today Show yesterday, so it's yesterday, if that makes sense, that it definitely was a noose, but it was a pull handle for the garage door, the rope, but it was a noose there in the garage there when he pulled up in Talladega. Oh, and he kind of changed course a little bit yesterday as well, as he puts out a message saying it's been an emotional few days. First off, I want to say how relieved I am that the investigation revealed that this wasn't what we feared it was. I want to thank my team, NASCAR, and the FBI for acting swiftly and treating this as a real threat. I think we'll gladly take a little embarrassment over what the alternatives could have been. He spent days talking about it in quite the opposite way. Now, all of a sudden, he's saying that he'd gladly take a little embarrassment. Why wouldn't you gladly take the embarrassment? It's
Number 3.
Some cities have already started taking down these racist monuments, like in Camden, New Jersey, where after public demand, the city voted to take down a statue of Christopher Columbus. In Albany, the mayor ordered the removal of a statue of a known slave owner. But in other places where lawmakers aren't budging on this issue, people are just taking matters into their own hands. Obviously, we're not telling you to commit any crimes, and we also can't tell you to deface any property. But we thought it'd be interesting to look at a purely hypothetical way to safely remove a statue.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Mashable, the website, the left-leaning website Mashable, and one of their reporters saying, look, people are taking down statues. They don't like them. They don't like their history. We're starting to see all of that. Now, we're not saying that that we would tell you how to take down a statue. Like, we wouldn't want to give you advice. But let us go through all the ways that you can remove a statue. They did that on social media. Mashable, telling everybody how to remove statues. The left is crazy.
Number 2.
You tell the truth. You get up every night and you tell the truth, whether they like it or not. This is the truth the way you see it.
And that's all you can do. So I hope he'd be proud of me. He talked to me a lot through this, by the way. 111 days. I did a briefing every day. I couldn't sleep at night. I'd close my eyes, and I would say, what would Pop say? And he spoke to me, and he helped me tremendously.
Okay. That's Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, who, talking to his brother Fredo on CNN yesterday, Fredo saying how awesome and incredible a guy he was and what a wonderful job he did, and still not taking any blame for the fact that he would send coronavirus positive patients back to nursing homes, which in turn caused a lot of people to die. Not taking responsibility for that and taking the attaboy. Also saying that he talked to his dad, who's no longer with us. It's been a while. For 111 days or so during the crisis, and they spoke. Okay.
Number one. It is absolutely terrifying, Lou, to think that this would go on in the United States of America. And these notes are simply damning, whether it was a phone conversation or a meeting or how it was conducted. The notes are clear in raising significant issues for Vice President Biden and, of course, Mr. Obama and their role in orchestrating and instructing and making sure this entire operation was carried out. It's just terrific.
Yep, making sure that it was carried out. Michael Flynn's defense counsel, Sydney Counsel, on Lou Dobbs to talk about the victory in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals and how by a 2-1 margin they said you need to throw this case out. Judge Sullivan, who still hasn't signed off on it, although they have, and as she is talking about Vice President Biden.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
At the time, Vice President Biden, who now we find out in handwritten notes from fired former FBI agent Peter Strzok, that described the January 5th, 2017 Oval Office meeting between Obama, Vice President Biden, Comey, Yates, and then National Security Advisor Susan Rice, where Joe Biden, who's got a lot of issues, everybody, a lot of problems, who was saying, yeah, maybe we should use the Logan Act against Michael Flynn, when only a few short weeks ago he was saying he knew nothing and had nothing to do with it and didn't know anything about all of this. He knew nothing, not one single thing about this.
We choose truth over facts.
Yeah, that guy, you know. And, of course, the fact that the president of the United States was all along in this as well. But the media won't report on it and won't talk about it. There's nothing to see here. It's just the weaponization of the federal government against an innocent American citizen. And how if Joe Biden is president of the United States, once again, we will probably see more of this. Talk about important elections. All right, Kevin's at Cape Coral. Hello there, Kevin.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
I'm kind of taking offense about the New York governor explaining that we're going to be quarantined going up there, when meanwhile 100,000 tourists have flown into our airport in the last 3 weeks, and not one of them has received the question at their hotels or anywhere they go, have you been 14-day quarantine? People in local businesses, local restaurants should not serve people once they ID them and they're from out of town on a 7-day vacation. How can they quarantine for 14 days? That's Cuomo taking a shot at us because Trump moved to Florida. Meanwhile, what are they going to do when the tourists try to go home from Florida? People, you left New York, now you're coming back from Florida. Are you on 14-day? They say if we go to Florida and we don't 14-day quarantine, $10,000 fine for residents of Southwest Florida.
Oh, you mean the other way around? Yeah, if we go to New York, yeah, the fine, yeah. Yeah, no, and look, this is a shot at Florida because we did it to them, and the governor doesn't like to be called out. And thanks for the call, Kevin. I appreciate it there in Cape Coral. He doesn't like being called out. We are seeing an uptick in cases, but again, as we have told you time and time again, we're not getting overloaded in the hospitals. That's the key. That's the thing to look at. Hospital beds, ICU beds. What is happening there? We're not being overloaded. Are there going to be more cases? Of course there are going to be more cases because we spent 45 days in houses not moving. Of course there was going to be. And more testing. Of course there's going to be more cases. Is the suggestion that we go back inside, everybody? Is that what we should do? Not even worry about the account. Disney is saying that they're going to delay the reopening of the theme parks now. They were planning on opening on July 17th. Nope, doesn't look like it's going to happen now. How long can they survive and not be able to open up? How long can you survive and not be able to go to your job? How long are we supposed to do this we already know about the virus and we know how to tackle it, and we have different ways of therapeutics that we can look at. And we've had discussion after discussion after discussion about this, and talking about hospitals and ICU beds and how important it is to keep an eye on all of this. But the suggestion now that Florida is ground zero, you can go on Twitter and see all the hashtags. Of course, they're doing this because they want to make the state look bad. They want the governor to look bad, and they want the president to look bad because it's an election year, everybody. Clinton Fort Myers wanted to weigh in on mail-in ballots.
Hey, Rick, thanks for taking my call.
It's Drew, but that's okay.
Hey, the last couple of days we've seen where we've had the president go out and speak about a scenario that, there's a lot of fraud that takes place with mail-in voting, and then Biden's pushing to the other side, stating that he wants to make sure that everybody can pretty much vote. Well, if you look at what's online, it's quite disturbing what it takes ID-wise to be able to get a mail-in ballot. I'd like you to pull that up and discuss that with Bob, our local, voting cats, because it's quite embarrassing. I mean, you can actually get a voting ID stating that you're a student. If you read it, it's just incredible, right?
Okay. Well, I appreciate the call there, Clint. Thanks. Well, you took the call. Does he know who?
He keeps calling you Rick. Who's
I don't know. Rick and Bob.
I'll be Bob.
All right. I'll be Suds, or I'll make up some other name. I'll be Lance Mannion. That's what I want to be, Lance Mannion. And every time I say my name, I want it to pop up that way. Hi, I'm Lance Mannion. And that's Sudsy McGee over there.
Sudsy McGee, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, why not? I don't really know where to go with that. All right. I do know that Martha McCallum had quite the conversation again yesterday with the New York, what is the head of the New York Black Lives Matter chapter, the Greater New York chair. There you go. Their goals being that they want to tear the system down, burn the system down, his words. Somehow the conversation got into Jesus and Jesus's race. Did you hear this? So Martha McCallum's like, can I read you a quote from Martin Luther King, and can you tell me your thoughts on this?
Martin Luther King. He said, let us be dissatisfied until that day when nobody will shout white power, when nobody will shout black power, but everybody will talk about God's power and human power. Do you agree with that?
That's pretty powerful, right?
I love the Lord. And my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, is the most famous black radical revolutionary in history. And he was treated just like Dr. King. He was arrested on occasion, and he was also crucified or assassinated. This is what happens to black activists. We are killed by the government. Well, and if you need context, if you read your Bible, it will say that Jesus had feet like burnt brass and hair like wool. I don't know if you noticed, but our hair seems to be more like wool, and we seem to be likened to that color than anyone else.
That's not what the Bible says. Well, certainly the Gospels don't say that, and the book of Revelation talks about hair on his head being white like wool, and his feet being bronze. All right, well, you can, I guess it's, what is it? It was burnt, right? Feet like burnt brass. Anyway, so that was an interesting conversation where that was all going. And how that came up, of course, not answering the important question about what Martin Luther King Jr. was talking about. And that is the important part of the conversation, is what about that? Why are we not in that place? Why are we not looking at that place? Why are we not getting to that place? And again, I am worried. I hate to say it this way, but I'm worried about the country. I'm worried about the direction that we're going. I'm worried for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I'm worried because of conversations like that and how things veer off into wherever you want them to go, and trying to ignore important words in context and then taking words biblically out of context or not even knowing where that is specifically and what the words say. But these are being communicated with people who are just going to shake their head and agree, and that's just the way it's going to be because they believe in the movement. Black Lives Matter, who has already said, and Patrisse Cullors, the co-founder, who has already said on record that it's about Marxism. They are trained Marxists, that they want Trump out of office. That is their goal, which means it's going to be their goal to get Biden elected as president of the United States. Not because they love Joe Biden, but clearly it's somebody who will kneel to them, literally and figuratively, as he has done. But I also feel that there are people that are not up for the fight, that don't understand that the fight's not going to go away, that if you go out, your family goes out and you vote for Donald Trump, president of the United States, and you vote down ballot because you are concerned that there are going to be Democrats anywhere near, sniff, or a hint of being in the State House in Tallahassee, flipping over the Senate in Tallahassee, and what disaster that could be. Although the Republicans in the Senate in Tallahassee, but having true conservatives, down ballot, and people even locally here, our CD19 race, that concern as well. But you got to be ready for the fight, everybody. It's not going to stop. Even after you do the very important thing of getting people to vote and you getting out there and voting yourself and voting for the president and everyone down ballot and being concerned about that, the next step is you have to be prepared that this is not going away. And that's the thing that I fear, that people think that if we win an election, everything's going to be better. It's not. It's going to be tough. For good. I mean, I hate to say that, but do you think after Donald Trump is gone that all of these issues go away? Especially if the left, the progressives, the Marxists, the anarchists in this country feel like they've already had a taste of victory in places like Seattle and Washington, D.C., and in our government, that they've already had a taste of what they could possibly get? That you think that, especially when you have people that are going to acquiesce, like the Democrats in this country, you think that they're just going to stop, even with Democrats? You just have to be ready to fight and fight for your values and be ready to stand up. And hopefully, as we show a generation the way it should be, that pendulum will switch on its own. But that fight continues. There's no doubt about it. All right. You ready? Let's find out what's happening with the remainder of our forecast with Week News meteorologist Matt Devitt.
For this afternoon, the heat is on.